Theoretically, yeah.
So that was not something I asked. I didn't think to ask him.
I would have assumed that I would have stuck with Sawyer, but seeing him come out first is kind of
Like Jack Strong is the lineup for tonight. He may not play tonight.
right because he wasn't on the roster.
But I'm pretty sure Addison, I have to look at the lineup. I'm pretty sure Addison was on the lineup. Might be able to just slot in and make something.
That'll be interesting. Isaac is getting first reps.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Lehman and welcome to the Carolina Classic. Due to an on-ice injury in Friday night's contest, we were forced to suspend play with 2 minutes and 3 seconds remaining and the score tied at 2. Before we get into the game tonight with the Carolina Classic, we are going to resume Friday's suspended contest with a neutral zone face-off and 22 seconds remaining on a North Carolina power play. Should we be tied at the end of regulation, normal overtime procedures will be followed and the Carolina Classic will begin immediately following the conclusion of the first game. Now, let's take a look at how we got here. It'll be Herman and Peltola on the draw. Tar Heels control. They'll get things started in their defense. Shook sends it behind the goal. NC State back in on the forecheck. Leighton Walsh is clear, is blocked by Labrizzi. Held in nicely by Shook at the blue line. He scores! NC State on the power play, and it's 1-0.
What a fantastic job by Nick Shook to keep the puck in the zone. It was sitting right on the blue line, and he's able to keep it in the zone. Watch it just squirt up to Labrizzi. He kind of quarterbacks his power play all the time. Shook wide open up top of the zone, keeps it in the offensive zone, and for the top of the slot, wrists it home.
It right into the glove of Cox, who sets it down and moves it along for Nick Shook. Shook, high slot shot, he scores! Second one of the game for Nick Shook, and NC State has a 2-goal lead.
How about Nick Shook? Second of the game, and now he's got 40 points on the year. I think he just wrapped up Freshman of the Year and the ACCHL. Just from the point, just trying to shoot.
With just under 2 minutes left in the first period. Another chance here for the Tar Heels. They score. Top of the near circle, O'Shaughnessy got loose, and it's 2-1.
Well, there you go. Like we mentioned, the intermission, they've got to find those top guys. A bad turnover there by Brenner. O'Shaughnessy immediately takes it right to the slot, wrists it home, and UNC
here for the Tar Heels as it gets past Thronson. O'Shaughnessy with Gilligan, he scores. 2 quick ones for Patrick O'Shaughnessy. He's the one we were talking about needing to score, and the Tar Heels have tied it up.
Almost a 3-on-0 break. After the turnover, Cox has to hustle back, but O'Shaughnessy had said, I'm going to take it all the way. We mentioned O'Shaughnessy. We mentioned how quickly this UNC team can make it a hockey game.
Well, we are back with one final update for you here at Invisalign Arena. Unfortunately, they are not going to continue play here tonight. It has been suspended due to the injury to Cade Cox. An awkward fall in the corner. He is still being assisted. You see both teams out on the ice right now. This has been an excellent series between these two teams this season. They split the first 2 games and going down to the wire for the 3rd time in a row. Not the way we wanted to end tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about the details of what will happen going forward with this game, but for now, we're going to step aside and we'll be back inside the room to close things out with you after this.
From the top of DH Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Aw, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Welcome back to PNC Arena as we get set for NC State and North Carolina to square off in the Carolina Classic. Chris Lehman alongside Graham Tuck. We'll have Braden Winters between the benches in a little bit as well. Graham, going to be an exciting one here tonight, and of course, it's a unique one as well, as we did not get to finish Friday night's game. Unfortunately, an on-ice injury for Cade Cox forced us to suspend the game. The good news is, as we've heard, Cade doing well. He has regained all of his feeling. He's gained all of his movement and was released from the hospital early on Saturday morning. So great news for Ice Pack fans and, of course, for Cade Cox and his family and friends to have him doing well. But that has created a very interesting scenario. Tonight, we will finish up Friday night's game with 2:03 left. A power play for North Carolina. It's going to be really, really interesting, especially with everything that's on the line tonight, Graham.
Yeah, it's super weird, especially when you consider that this is essentially a matchup for the division title between these two teams right now. Either team could come out on top of the South, and the thing is, you really have that big power play for UNC that you just mentioned. It's going to be weird. Starting with a face-off, it's not at center ice. If the NC State penalty kill can come out and kill off the first little bit of this remaining power play, it could really prove to be a momentum swing. And it's almost a weird factor because you have that power play, you had that momentum on Friday. If you're UNC, you'd scored 2 unanswered in the third. Then you have the power play, but then that stoppage, it kind of freezes things right where they were in time. You never know how you're going to come out firing on a completely different day.
Yeah, and you talk about how tight the game was late on. Every game this season has been that way. Nick Shook won it in overtime for NC State way back in October. When we were back here for the Governor's Cup, it was Patrick O'Shaughnessy with the game winner with about 1.5 minutes to go. And of course, it's coming down to the wire in this third game as well. So we expect another really exciting contest, and it should be another great atmosphere.
Yeah, it should. I mean, it always is whenever these two teams come together. You think about the Frozen Finley game, you think about all the Governor's Cups over the years, you think about the playoffs that these teams have played in overtime. It's always great. One of the greatest rivalries in all of college hockey, not just the ACCHL, not just the ACHA. So, as always, going to be entertaining.
Yeah, well, as we get ready to wrap up our pregame coverage here, let's take a look at what these two teams have going tonight. Of course, you talk about what's kind of an advantage for NC State. All that momentum for the Tar Heels kind of killed. They're going to have to find a way to come out. One thing that head coach Adam Dowda mentioned to me before the game, he wants his team to play hungry like they did in that third period.
Yeah, you got to capitalize on this power play. I mean, it's not often that you start a game on the power play. Obviously, this is a resumption of a game, but you start things off with a power play right away. It is a neutral zone draw, we think, coming up to start this, so it's not an O-zone draw, but this face-off to start the resumption of this first game is going to be huge. That's a huge play for either team. Very rarely does the start of a game, the face-off, mean so much, but that's the situation we've got tonight. And then you've got to keep it rolling. You know, whichever team loses this first game, you got to wipe it out, and you have a completely new set of 60 minutes right in front of you.
Yeah, and if you're NC State, as I look at that side as well, you of course know about the top-line talent for North Carolina. Patrick O'Shaughnessy, Matt Grady, Gilligan in there as well, Tommy Gilligan. For NC State, I think it's going to be about the depth in those bottom six.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously with NC State, you got those guys like Garrett Arini, you've got Zach Herman, you have that high-power offense with your top line that you have, but you also have to be able to, rely on other people from time to time. So if NC State can play their game, I think that the depth will be able to fill in because they've dictated the tempo of most of the matchups so far this season. And when they were playing their game in the first and second period on Friday night, they really did dictate the way the game went up until that third period.
Yeah, well, both teams getting out on the ice now. You can hear everybody here at PNC getting loud. We're going to step aside and come back with the resumption of Game 3 from Friday.
Look like the best team in the ACC.
What is it that binds us to this place as to no other? It is not the well, or the bell, or the stone walls, or the crisp October nights, or the memory of dogwoods blooming. No, our love for this place is based on the fact that it is as it was meant to be. the university of the people.
My name is Adam Dowd. I'm the head coach of the UNC hockey team. I played college hockey at Colgate University, NCAA Division I. I've been coaching for the past 2 years, and this is my first season as head coach of the UNC hockey team. Hockey's growing down here in the Southeast, and the success the program has had over the past few years really drew me to this position, and I think our future is very bright for the whole program. The student athlete who comes to Carolina has the ability to get a world-class education and the social experience that you might not get at other D3 or even D1 institutions. But along with that, they have the ability to play hockey at a very high level and the potential to go play NCAA Division I, hopefully in our near future. I look for character and attitude the most above all, even above playing ability. We have a great culture established, a team-first mentality. Guys are playing for each other on the ice and they're supporting each other off the ice. And that's something very important to me. I think that's crucial to the team's success. At the end of the day, we want to win games, we want to win championships. I think the potential here is unlike any other, and I'm just excited about that.
Quick shot, he scores! And the Tar Heels off and running.
Our student athletes here have a very good opportunity to experience playing in front of very large crowds. Last year, played in front of 24,000 people at the Frozen Finley game against NC State. This year, we're planning a PNC game where the Carolina Hurricanes play. We're anticipating 10,000 fans. We try to build events around each home game to build enthusiasm, energy, and within the community, and we have very good crowds that allow our players to really experience a college hockey atmosphere. And that is the long-term goal, is to win national championships at the NCAA level.
Chris Lehman and Graham Tuck back with you here at PNC Arena, getting set for the start of the Carolina Classic. Of course, the resumption of that Friday night game will get things started for us. Right now, we'll send it down to the ice for starting lineups and the national anthem. So they've announced the starting lineups. They've announced the starting lineups here at PNC Arena, of course, for NC State. Just 4 guys in the starting lineup for this first game with the penalty kill, or 5, I should say, including the goaltender. NC State going to go with Garrett Arini and Zach Herman up front, as well on the back end as Nick Labrizzi. and Andrew Thronson. Isaac Toyer will be in net. On the power play for North Carolina, no surprise, Tommy Gilligan out there with Patrick O'Shaughnessy, as well as Matt Grady. And then on the back end, Jack Gleason and Florian Zajic with Lucas Brown remaining in goal. So those are the starting lineups. Really no surprises there. A lot of firepower on the ice for North Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what you should have. That's what you should want when you start this game off with a power play. You got to bring your heavy hitters right out of the gate. But both teams are doing that. You see NC State with their two leaders in points, Zach Herman and Garrett Arini, starting things out on the penalty kill. So you think maybe they win that face-off, play it back, try to get your guy out of the box, and then set things up offensively. It'll be very interesting to see how these two teams play it, depending on who wins possession after this first face-off.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big reasons. Of course, Herman and Arini, both two of the better defensive forwards for NC State. But I think the big thing with Herman out there, he's their best face-off man. Whenever they have a draw they need to win, it's Herman taking it. So his matchup there against Patrick O'Shaughnessy is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talked about it in the pregame. Very rarely, if ever, do you see the start of a game, the very first face-off, means so much in terms of the outcome. But that's kind of the unique situation that we're in right now. You have a 22-second power play to start things off for UNC, and it couldn't mean more to start this game. It's going to be interesting to see which team has their legs underneath them earlier.
You see our honorary captain for North Carolina dropping the puck. As we get set for things to go, we're going to head to the national anthem, and we're going to step aside and come back with Puck Drop.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
The anthem has been sung as we get set for things to get going. Everything checked off the list except the first puck drop. Chris Lehman, Graham Tuck with you. Braden Winters will join us in a little while at the intermission. But as we've talked about plenty, a very interesting way to start this game. It'll be a neutral zone face-off in front of the North Carolina bench here. And a 22-second power play for the Tar Heels as well, Graham.
Yeah, you mentioned it a few moments ago, a huge face-off, and both teams sending out their best face-off guys to start this period off, we thought they were. Patrick Peltola is going to the face-off circle here. That's an interesting move there.
Yeah, that was not what we saw in the lineup. Keep an eye, you can see at the top of your screen, Patrick O'Shaughnessy. Beware of him in case they try and spring him right off this draw. 2:03 to go in the third period. A unique starting point. One forward by Herman. Foster will slap it over to the far wall for O'Shaughnessy. That's denied. Here comes Herman looking for a quick chance, shorthanded. Throws it at the net, and it'll be scooped up by Brown.
Not a bad idea there from Herman. Just get it to the net. Maybe the nerves get to the goaltender early, and Brown does a nice job of handling it cleanly.
No, yeah, that's a huge play there by Herman to not only get a chance shorthanded, but you're also setting up a D-zone draw for the Tar Heels while they're on this power play, killing more time than they could be in their O-zone off.
Down to 10 seconds left on the penalty to Jackson Cowan. It was a tripping penalty way back on Friday. Maybe the longest penalty ever served. Foster carries it across the blue line, has it knocked off his stick by Arini. They'll tangle there. Herman scoops it up. He's got space down the near right wing. Crossing over near the high slot. Feathers it down low. Arini chases after it. Touched out in front, and Herman can't get the shot away. 1:28 to go. Stolen away by Robinson. Turnaround shot off the pipe. Oh, what a chance there for NC State. Labrizzi forces it deep. O'Shaughnessy will throw it off the glass, and it ends up out of play with 1:18 to go. But NC State's come out buzzing, Graham.
Yeah, they definitely have their legs underneath them right away. They're ready to go. They know exactly what is on the line in this game. A potential division title if they can sweep this series today. It's weird to say a series is going to be completed in one day, but it really is. And they are flying right out of the gates.
Defensive zone win on the draw for the Tar Heels. Gleason sets up the breakout from behind his own cage. Up that far wall. Some pressure there from Nick Shook. Knocks it loose. NC State in control. Labrizzi goes rink wide for Brenner. He'll gain the red line and send it all the way down behind the goal. Brown there to play it along. And there's Glilligan. You hear the announcement. 1 minute left in this third period. Kaufman out in front. Couldn't connect there with Brenner, and the puck skitters out into the neutral zone. Labrizzi up for Brenner, skate to stick, handles it through traffic and sends it back behind the goal again. 43 seconds left in this contest. Kaufman to it. He'll leave it for Labrizzi on the blue line. Feathered down for Kaufman. Into the middle. It got caught up in the skates of Robinson. He'll pitch it back up the wall for Labrizzi again. Walking the line, Labrizzi. Deflected shot, didn't get to the net. And now North Carolina can move up and out. It's Cobber, dispossessed. Turned right back in. Herman trying to collect the loose puck. Zajic able to defend well. Down to 18 seconds left. It'll be chipped back in by Labrizzi again. And now Jack Gleason holds on. He'll sweep it around the wall for Kuendoig. Into the middle. It hops the stick of Cobber. 8 seconds left as Thronson collects for the Wolfpack. Or Ice Pack, pardon me. Up for Labrizzi, chipped along at the blue line by Herman, and that's going to take us to our second overtime of this regular season series. NC State won it the last time way back in October, but this is going to be a very exciting finish, I think, here.
Yeah, I think it should be. I think that UNC really needs this break before overtime starts. They have not been able to match the physicality, the speed, or the intensity of NC State so far in this game. They're fortunate that Robinson, that puck hitting the post didn't go the way that it could have for NC State, or this game could already be over. And so they really got to recoup here and start overtime completely differently than the way they started this start of the resumption.
So if those of you might not know, this will be a 3-on-3 overtime period for 5 minutes. After that, it will be 3 rounds of a shootout, sudden death after that. One of the other interesting things, one of the other interesting aspects of this game, NC State's the home team right now. They will be the visiting team when we start up the Carolina Classic. So they will be able to decide whether they want to shoot first or second in the shootout if it gets there. It took about 4 minutes to decide things the last time these two teams played 3-on-3. NC State will go with Arini, Herman, and McEnany. O'Shaughnessy out there with Gilligan and Zajic for North Carolina. It'll be Arini getting to the loose puck off the draw, drops it back for Thomas McEnany. Plays it out to the wall, picked up with some speed by Herman. He'll go one-on-one, has Arini looking back over, and it's deflected just wide. Herman, looking at the officials, I think he thought he might have got hacked trying to make the play, but we'll carry on. Gilligan bodied off the puck now. Arini with some pressure from O'Shaughnessy, sends it up for McConaughey, and he'll reset.
On that last chance for Arini, I think he would have been better off to shoot that puck. He had Gilligan beat to the near side, had a lane. Obviously, if Herman finishes that, it's an easy goal, but it didn't go the way of the Ice Pack.
Good hustle by McConaughey to disrupt that breakout for O'Shaughnessy. They'll have another chance, though. In they come. Save made with the glove by Toyer. NC State sweeps it up and out. Herman trying to race all the way down to avoid the icing, and he'll do so. But a good chance there. It was Henry Foster breaking forward with O'Shaughnessy. Those two still out there along with Matt Grady. Carolina captain will set up the breakout behind his own cage. Just a minute gone in this overtime period. Stretch pass looking for, looks like that was Number 22, Grady, they were trying to catch. He couldn't handle the pass, and now they will whistle it dead. And a face-off on top of the NC State blue line with 3:43 to go.
Yeah, UNC was never able to get that cleanly into the zone, so an offside against the Tar Heels. But both teams coming out flying. UNC has to be happy about the way this overtime has started compared to the end of the third that we just played.
Peltola on the draw for the Heels up against NC State's Oliver. Ice Pack win it. Labrizzi will skate it up to the red line and hook back with it. Overtime a lot of times is just about keeping possession, because a lot of times a turnover results in a golden opportunity for your opponents. Labrizzi playing it off the wall for Oliver to collect near the red line. He's got speed coming in. He's going to cut down the wing, wraps it around, tried to stuff it in at the far post, and wasn't able to complete the play, but it looks like the net came off of its moorings momentarily, and we will get a whistle.
That's already the second or third time in this brief game that we're playing here today that UNC has been beaten quickly around the outside, and it's resulted in a scoring chance for the Ice Pack. UNC has got to get their skates moving and keep up with these NC State forwards.
It'll be Holden Kaufman to take the draw for NC State. Ties it up for Nick Shook to collect. He'll drop it off for Thronson. Back to Shook. Has 2 goals in this game already. A third one would win it. He was the overtime hero back in October. Back for Thronson. They'll cycle the puck back up to the blue line. Left for Nick Shook. Fires away. Deflected aside by the goaltender Brown. Cross ice back for Shook. It hopped his stick. He'll take it off the wall. Defended there by Gleason as he carries it into the corner. Laid along for Thronson. Again, Shook about halfway through this overtime. It comes out of the zone. Shook will have to reset with it. Trying to step around Peltola and does. NC State with a chance moving in. Shook takes the shot. Swallowed up by Brown. That's almost exactly where he scored the 2 goals on Friday. Not a bad idea, and another offensive zone draw for the Pack.
Yeah, no, UNC just does not look all there so far in this game. NC State has been able to do pretty much whatever they've wanted so far, and the Ice Pack have got to capitalize on this. You're sending your top guys out there again, the same unit you started this game with. This is peak chance for the Ice Pack.
Leighton Walsh will win the draw over Zach Herman. Tar Heels move forward. It's Zajic with some speed and space. Leaves it off there. Shot coming. Blocker save. Rebounds there. They score. Carolina will take the Game 1 win with 3 unanswered goals. And on the rebound, it's Florian Zajic.
And with that goal, not only do they win the game, but they win the division. That is a huge goal for the Tar Heels, and it couldn't have come at a bigger time here in front of this raucous crowd. Look at Zajic, drops that pass off, and then gets the rebound. That's a big rebound there on the blocker from Toyer. He's got to get that more to the corner. He can't, and Zajic capitalizes.
Pretty well-placed shot as well for the Tar Heels. I believe that was Foster over there who took the shot, but it created that juicy rebound that left Zajic with nothing to do but throw it into an open net. So Tar Heels will take Game 1, and now these two teams will go right back to it. And that's the really interesting thing. One of the things that was almost bizarre about the overtime winner there was that the Tar Heels didn't leave the bench. Normally you jump off the bench and go celebrate, but because they're going right back to work here, the two teams stay there, and now we'll switch a few things up. NC State did make the decision to go with a different netminder for this one. We'll see Addison Lawrence, who has been their top goaltender from a statistical standpoint for most of the season.
Yeah, and he didn't really start off in that role. It took until game number 7 for Lawrence to get his first decision, and it was really back and forth between Isaac Toyer and Eric Daniel for the first part of the season. But then once Lawrence got that chance, he really didn't look back. He's got an 8-4 record this year, 9.18 save percentage, and a 2.34 goals against. Over a 12-game sample size for club hockey, that is all you could ask for, especially from a sophomore in his first year with the team.
He will certainly be called upon for NC State tonight. The other thing that will be intriguing to see is what this does to the momentum for North Carolina. As you mentioned, I don't want to say they don't have anything to play for, but at this point they have won the division, and everything, from the postseason standpoint is pretty much locked up for them at this point. So it'll be interesting to see how things shake out, because NC State does still have something to play for.
Yeah, they do. And UNC they are currently, with that 2 points from the overtime win, they're tied at 15 points with Rider, the winner of the other division. They're in the Mid-Atlantic, UNC being in the Atlantic division. So you're tied with that. But if you get another point or even two with a win from this second game, you can really take it into your own hands, get that 1 seed, and if they are able to earn a point from this second game, they'll take on the winner of the play-in game, which is happening tomorrow night between Maryland and Delaware.
So a lot still hinging on this game. Both teams can still shift around a bit as we're set to start a fresh 20 minutes and a completely new game. NC State going with Herman, Robinson, and Arini up top, Labrizzi and Thronson on the back end. Gleason, NC State looking for a quick chance. Shot from Robinson, blockered away by Brown. They'll keep the pressure on as Thronson pinches down the near wall to hold the zone. Tar Heels have the manpower. They'll carry it out. Gilligan working on Robinson, chips and chases and gets by the Tar Heel forward. Sent to the middle, and a sprawling play there. And the net will come off as Grady went flying into the NC State net, trying to deflect that one in.
Yeah, that was a really great setup from Tommy Gilligan. I have no idea how he was able to keep that puck on his blade all the way into the zone, down to the bottom of the circles. And then not only that, but center up a great pass, but a good stop from Lawrence. And fortunately for UNC, the net does come off because the Ice Pack had a great counterattack the other way if that whistle doesn't go.
So the face-off on top of the NC State blue line. Herman will win another draw back to Labrizzi, immediately under pressure. Breakout pass deflected along by Robinson, but stolen away by Florian Zajic. And the Tar Heel defenseman chips it in. Here for NC State now, Thronson. Rink wide, he's got Herman. Trouble handling the pass. It'll be knocked loose by Doig. Advanced along, looking for Cobber. Right back to Doig. And he's going to barrel his way into the offensive zone, but loses the puck. And NC State will regroup. Here's Labrizzi. Weaving through the neutral zone. He'll float one in towards the goal. Sticked aside by Brown and collected by Gleason. Well, and it's interesting. I kind of expected some energy out of the crowd to start with the late game scenario in the overtime, but it's a pretty settled crowd right now, and it's kind of reflected on the ice a little bit. Both teams just kind of going about their business.
Yeah, it is interesting. Now they're starting to get going a little bit, but especially, you know, you have that winner for UNC. It seems like a pretty pro-NC State crowd, as you can hear. So maybe that having something to do with it? I'm not entirely sure.
Puck behind the Carolina net. Pressure there from NC State's Aiden Brenner. Held in at the blue line by Cowan. His shot deflected. Brenner has it in the slot, leaving it there for Holden Kaufman, who couldn't get the shot away. Puck skitters to the near corner. Leighton Walsh chips it up the wall, but not out. Now Nick Shook looking to the middle. He's got Brenner. Dispossessed there, and the Tar Heels look to move it out. Carson Rain moved across for Katseos. He'll stop at the high slot. Shot saved by Lawrence. Rebound sitting there, and they couldn't get it on goal. Katseos just couldn't get to it, and a penalty coming up now on the Tar Heels as Kaufman was upended. And it'll be a 2-minute penalty for tripping.
Yeah, Jake White just absolutely flying into the zone there. I wasn't sure if they were going to call it tripping or kneeing, because that was a absolute streak of white and Carolina blue into the zone, and sprawling to the ice was Kaufman. And obviously great to see him get up and not have any troubles getting to the bench.
Well, NC State fighting for this offensive zone draw to start the power play. It squirts loose into the corner, and Foster launches a slap shot all the way down the ice. A little over 2 minutes gone in this first period. NC State looking to rebound from that overtime loss to start things here. Nice hit there from Zach Mangle to knock the puck loose. NC State will regroup. It's Labrizzi circling all the way back behind Lawrence.
That's the first time that the Tar Heels have really shown any kind of physicality so far tonight. Maybe they can use that hit from Mangle as kind of a kickstarter.
Here comes Herman. He'll cycle behind the net. Absorbs a hit, sends it out in front. High slot shot from Labrizzi. Rebound loose there in the top of the blue paint. Still there, and they score. Well, we'll see. The official hasn't made a call yet. At least I haven't seen him. It looks like he's going to call it a goal, and NC State takes advantage on the power play.
Yeah, that's a great play there by Arini. Absolutely just sticks to it. You see him there in the slot. Robinson's got a chance at the rebound, still moving around. Brown is down and out, and nobody blocking the angle there for Arini to pot that one home. It is his 17th goal of the season, and it really gives the Ice Pack an advantage here. You felt like they were the better team during that end of the third period, and maybe even overtime. UNC getting that one chance, they capitalized, but now NC State's got an early lead here.
Oh, and you can hear it in the crowd as well. There's a little bit more energy, and the Ice Pack looking to capitalize on it. Oliver in on the forecheck, putting pressure there on Ben Edwards. Good work by the one-man forecheck. Some help now from Scott Daniel. Oliver directs it to the middle and takes a hit as O'Shaughnessy picks up the loose puck. O'Shaughnessy is one of the most dangerous players on this Tar Heel team as Gilligan got tripped up there. No hand up. And with a slash there on, I believe it was Edwards who went down after that, and it's going to be a power play for North Carolina. And from one of the more senior players, one of the leaders on this team in Bressingham, that's a bit of a surprising play, Graham.
Yeah, it is, and you've really got a great chance if you're the Tar Heels right now because you've been getting outpaced, out-hit. Just everything is going the Ice Pack's way right now, but you have this opportunity in front of you to draw this game back to even. This is the first time we're going to see the penalty kill from the Ice Pack in this game. UNC couldn't get it done on their end. Now it's a chance for the Ice Pack to give themselves some more momentum after that goal.
Off the draw, NC State fails to clear. D-to-D pass for O'Shaughnessy near side. Into the high slot, shot from Cobber, didn't get to Addison Lawrence. It's still loose in the slot, now McEnany will pitchfork it down the ice.
Yeah, Peltola with a really good job as the net front there on that play, but he ends up inadvertently blocking his own teammate's shot. Here's a chance.
Oh, the one-timer went right past Oliver. He went down to a knee for it. A good short-handed opportunity, and now the Tar Heels go back to work. And we're going to have a stoppage here. That net has been problematic down there. Lawrence just going over to seal the post. Ends up knocking it off, and the face-off should be here on the near side.
Yeah, it should, but Cobber got taken down there away from the puck. I felt like that probably should have been a penalty against the Ice Pack. There wasn't any kind of play there to be made, and I didn't see the exact moment that contact began, but I know the puck was nowhere near the hit.
So we'll have an offensive zone draw once the officials kind of shore up the moorings down there for Addison Lawrence. Draw will be taken by Peltola up against NC State's McEnany. They'll battle for it in the corner. Tar Heels eventually going to come up with it. Foster back at the blue line. He'll go cross ice for Grady, stepping into one, fires it high into the glass, and it will wrap around the wall. Emery Oliver with the physical play, knocks the puck loose for McEnany to pick up. He's going to step around a hit here as he carries it down the ice. Cobber just took one up high, and again, the Tar Heels up in arms. There have been a few there that you thought you might look around and see an orange armband in the air. Here comes Henry Foster now, racing right down the middle. Cuts to the near right side, slides a pass back to the middle that's popped up in the air, and NC State has numbers even though they're shorthanded here. Arini coming in quickly, powering his way down that left wing. He'll button hook in the corner and slide it down low for Brenner. NC State setting up and wasting time while shorthanded. Slap shot from McConaughey off a body in front, and a great shoulder save there by Brown to keep it out.
Wow, that could have been really unfortunate for the Tar Heels. Grady almost acted as a deflection in on goal on that one. Huge awareness from Brown to be able to make that save.
Oh, and the Ice Pack have done a really good job of forcing North Carolina to play the 200 feet of the ice here on this power play. Just 13 seconds left on the man advantage. And again, NC State will clear. Cowan with the slapper from his own blue line. So that will bring back Drew Bressingham. 5-on-5 hockey again. In come the Tar Heels. Centering pass for Gilligan, shut down by Herman. That'll be right back for Kutseos. He's dispossessed again by the Ice Pack. Herman looking to break it out, has his pass deflected. Now it's Carson Rain of the Tar Heels forced off the puck. Picked up now by Gilligan. He'll circle behind the net. Tries to stuff one right off the pad of Lawrence. Tar Heels keep the pressure on. Blocked pass there by Herman. Deflects it out into the neutral ice. He's going to go into the wall hard with Edwards there. And now NC State with a chance. Robinson scoops it up on the far side. Cutting in, firing. Big blocker save made by Lucas Brown. Popped way up in the air. NC State has it now on the near side. Swept back in by Robinson. And Edwards shoots it right back into neutral ice. Labrizzi having trouble with it. Gets some help there as well. And NC State will regroup. Tar Heels send it all the way down. This one must have hit somebody on the way through. No icing called. Play carries on, and now it's offsides as looks like the Tar Heels were unable to hold the line there.
Yeah, Glonick makes that play there at the blue line. He's offsides, but if you're the Ice Pack, Coach Tim Healy, if I had to guess, the one thing that he would want to work on and improve upon as this game goes on is the breakout. The forecheck for North Carolina, the Tar Heels have been all over the place. Both of their goals on Friday came from a strong forecheck, and they've gotten right back to it in this one. They've got to keep that going, and the breakout has to be more crisp if you're the Ice Pack.
Well, this time icing called on NC State as the stretch pass was too long. 13-13 left in this first period, and this is really kind of the first time tonight we've seen the Tar Heels really hem NC State back in their own end, but Ice Pack are doing a pretty good job of defending. Something they usually do really well is keeping teams out to the perimeter, and they've done that so far. Off the draw, O'Shaughnessy tried to go forward with it. That didn't work out. Shot from Grady, whistles wide, and now Gleason holds the near blue line. Cute little pass out in front there from Gilligan, doesn't get through. Now a slapper from the blue line, blocked by Addison Lawrence. Good shot through traffic there from the defenseman Gleason. Centering pass, firing range right now on the Ice Pack netminder. Makes the save, it deflects off the defender Labrizzi, and he clears it away. Now it'll be chipped up and out. McEnany can't get to it. Gleason now for North Carolina looking for Gilligan. He was off the mark. NC State in the middle of the line change. A little bit of confusion there along the benches. But here's Scott Daniel breaking in with Bressingham. Slides it there for number 14, and Bressingham just can't get a stick on it. Oliver steps up at the blue line and holds it. Bressingham down low, knocked off the puck.
Tar Heels finally beginning to match that physicality of the Ice Pack as this period is getting to the midway point.
Well, and that's one thing that if you're NC State, you have to be aware of. Pretty much every time these two teams have played this season, the Ice Pack have come out with the energy, they've come out with the momentum, and they've been able to take the lead. The thing is, the Tar Heels eventually get their feet under them, and they will mount a comeback. So if you're NC State, you got to put as much on the board as you can right now as Strong rips one off the pipe. Now Daniel looking back for Strong again. He has his stick lifted, but James will hold the blue line. Swept down low. Strong knocked down from behind. We got another penalty coming up as Henry Foster will touch up. A boarding penalty, and NC State already 1-for-1 on the man advantage. We'll get another chance, Graham.
Yeah, they will, and this is a bone-crushing penalty if you're the Tar Heels because you just had that great shift in your offensive zone. They finally started taking shots. They weren't looking for the perfect angle, but they're getting pucks on net. It resulted in a number of high-danger scoring chances, and then as soon as the Ice Pack go back the other way, you commit a penalty, and you have to go back on the kill against this absolutely lethal Ice Pack power play.
Ice Pack really put a focus on their special teams coming back from the winter break, and it has paid off. We'll see if they find another one here. Shot coming from the point, stop made, rebound is there. Arini tried to chip it in front, didn't work out. He'll drop it back to Shook at the blue line. Nick Shook returns the favor. NC State captain sends it deep. He'll have to chase down the loose puck in the corner. Knocked off it, though, by Mangle. Help there from Shook, knocks it loose. It's Arini behind the goal again. He'll hand it off for Robinson. Fed back up for Herman. They'll work it across the blue line. Labrizzi to Shook. Back rink wide, taken off the wall by Herman. Get over to Shook from Labrizzi. Shot coming, blocked on the way through. Stick broke. Herman with a one-timer. Loose in the crease. Still there along the side of the goal, and a sliding Mangle breaks up the chance for Robinson. NC State has the Tar Heel penalty kill all out of sorts here. Back up to Labrizzi. 1:10 left on the man advantage. It'll be held by Herman. Across for Shook. Shot coming. Another save made by Brown. He'll pounce on the rebound. But NC State with all kinds of chances there.
Yeah, we're going to get another look at it. Right here, there is a absolute massive open net. What a find by Arini. Just sees Herman, and he can't get it on net. And it technically will go down as a save for Brown, but the entire net to shoot at, and he just couldn't get the right angle. But my goodness, what an absolute find by Garrett Arini on that pass.
NC State will control off the draw. Here's Holden Kaufman. He'll backhand it down low, slapped along by Oliver for Daniel. He'll shield off a defender in Gleason, getting some help from Thronson. They'll send it down low, and now Oliver upended. Clearance held in by Thronson. Dropping it off, he's got James. NC State at 4 men right now. It's Oliver had a broken stick, and that will give the Tar Heels a chance to clear with 33 seconds left on the man advantage.
This is going to end up being very frustrating for the Ice Pack if they can't capitalize on the last 25 seconds of this power play, just because of how great it's looked as the linesman goes down. But they have had so many high-danger chances, and the Tar Heels have gotten unfortunately lucky bounces, unbelievably fortunately lucky bounces so far.
One last push here for NC State. Kaufman trying to step around Zajic, absorbs the hit and carries on. He'll spin around, lost his footing and the puck. Thronson coming over to help. He can't possess, though, and the Tar Heels clear. That will finish off the power play. NC State now 1 for 2 on the man advantage. Here comes Thronson. Quick shot. Glove save by Brown. He'll snag it and hold on.
Yeah, that's a big confidence save there for Brown, especially after you get out of position a couple times there like we just saw in that power play. NC State probably should have put one behind him, but that glove save to kind of calm things down, that could really end up doing wonders for his confidence.
And you can hear the NC State crowd trying to keep their team in it after the penalty was killed. Offensive zone draw. McEnany will take it for the Ice Pack. He'll be up against Tommy Gilligan. NC State controls. Brenner drops it back for McConaughey. Shot through traffic. Oh, nice save by Brown on the deflection. NC State has had a couple of good deflections, some by themselves, some by Tar Heel defensemen, but Brown has tracked the puck really well.
Yeah, just getting shots towards the net, that's what's going to create high-danger scoring chances, and I feel like the Ice Pack have done a better job of it so far.
Henry Foster will win the battle for the puck off the draw. Drops it back, a breakout pass, stolen away momentarily by Bressingham, but he'll lose it to O'Shaughnessy, who chips it around the wall. Gilligan over there gets some help from Patrick O'Shaughnessy, held in at the blue line by McConaughey, and his shot will be gloved down by the captain Foster. He'll step around a hit, but Brenner took the puck away on the missed hit, and he'll stand up with it in the corner. Getting some support over there. Tar Heels will move it up, but not out, as Foster is stopped at the blue line by Bressingham.
Yeah, this is a really strong forecheck here from the Ice Pack, and you mentioned it earlier off camera, off mics. Henry Foster playing back on D in this game hardly ever does that, normally a forward, and he gets pinned up into his own zone from the forecheck of the Ice Pack. That's going to be a matchup to watch, and how Foster holds his own on the blue line as this game progresses.
Here's Cowan for NC State. His pass through the middle. Missed a couple of NC State sticks, but it'll be picked up now by Robinson. He'll zip one at the net. Another blocker save made there by Brown. O'Shaughnessy pokes it around a pinching Herman. Stepping in, though, James holds the line twice. He'll knock it back for Herman. Stepping into the far circle. Pad save made there by Brown. Great chance for NC State again. And now James has the rebound in the corner. Pushes it down low. Robinson kicking it along the wall. Now he's got some space. Back up top for James. He'll step through 2 defenders. Looking to shoot, shot blocked, and it will deflect out into the neutral zone. 7:50 left in this first period. NC State with a power play goal, not 4 minutes in. And that's where we stand right now. Ice Pack with the lead. Jagelski floats it out for Harmon. Breakout pass stolen. It will stall out around the red line. And now the Tar Heels will collect at their own end. Zajic looking forward for Walsh. That one misses everybody, and icing is the call.
Yeah, obviously the front linesman saw something. The rear one waved it off, said that there was a tip on that puck from Walsh in the neutral zone, but it's going to come back in front of Brown, and that's really unfortunate for the Tar Heels because NC State has been living in front of the Tar Heels goaltender for the last couple of minutes. He's got to be getting tired. UNC was dominating the offensive zone time earlier in this game, but since the ice has so shifted in favor of the Ice Pack.
Deflected shot off the draw, floats over Brown, and he'll direct it with the waffle board into the corner. Collected behind the net by Zajic. He'll push it along for Rain. Looking cross ice. That one's going to miss Katseos, and Labrizzi retreats for it for the Ice Pack. He'll shuffle it up for Harmon, who takes a hit crossing the blue line. NC State with a delayed offside here. They're going to have to check up. I'm not sure they know it. McEnany still putting some pressure on. Gleason stretching it forward, stepping in front. Thronson steals it away. His pass too far for McEnany. Gleason for the Tar Heels, first to it, but McEnany there to take it away. Kaufman shielding it off. Thronston throws it back behind. Here's Logan Todd. Pestered there by Zajic. He'll pin it to the wall. Good work by Todd. Centering pass denied. He and Kaufman go to work behind. Now Thronston up top. Quickly across for Labrisi. One-timer, and that one whistled high of the net. Kaufman looking to throw it towards goal and misses. It will ring around the wall for Labrisi. Nifty move there around Kutseos. Going to step around another man in Walsh. Thrown to the net, and it went just past the ear of Brown and over the crossbar. Todd behind the goal couldn't get to it. Good pressure here from NC State as Kaufman sends it up the wall. Thronson hustles to it and saves the zone. Kaufman at the hash marks now. Walking down the goal line and behind the net. His pass out, deflected up in the air. Cowan will settle and send it back behind again. Now Aiden Brenner. Kind of tangled up there a bit with Kaufman. He sends it up for Cowan, and his pass stolen away by Walsh. Pushed forward for Kutseos. He needs a change, and so the Tar Heels just send it deep.
So they finally just cleared the zone. That was about a minute, 60 seconds of zone time for the Ice Pack, but the Tar Heels could have avoided it entirely if it weren't for a lackadaisical breakout pass from Gleason in the D zone. And earlier I harped on the Ice Pack breakout. Since then, it's been the complete opposite. The breakout has been a struggling point for the Tar Heels as this first period's gone on.
Well, and that's a strong suit for both teams. The forecheck is going to make it really difficult, and we saw that a lot, particularly in the second period on Friday. Both teams kind of got to their game on the forecheck, and neither side was all that efficient getting through neutral ice. Scott Daniel will send it in, and the Tar Heels reverse it back the other way. Cowan stepping into a man. Puck was gone, though, and they're going to call a penalty here on Jackson Cowan for going a little bit late after Peltola, I believe that was.
Wow, I'm going to call that a tic-tac penalty because you get that touch on the puck right at the red line from Peltola, and split seconds later, you make that hit. It's really hard to avoid contact when you've already committed to the hit at that point in time, especially in open ice. So by the letter of the law, it probably is interference, but I don't know how you avoid it at that point.
An important draw to start the power play. Foster holds the zone, but it's swatted right back down the ice by McEnany. Or McConaughey, pardon me, and the Tar Heels will restart the power play in their own end. Foster gliding across the line. Dropped off for Cobber. High slot shot blocked by McConaughey. Out for O'Shaughnessy, and his shot deflected wide. Grady now up near the blue line. Spinning pass right to Emery Oliver, who's got some speed, but Henry Foster is back to defend, and the NC State penalty killer makes the smart decision and just sends it back behind the goal.
Yeah, Coach Dowd is not going to like that pass from Grady there on the wall. It just a clear and easy turnover. Could have resulted in even a breakaway if Foster isn't able to get back.
Tar Heel captain again in control. Lost in edge, just whips it out to the far side for Cobber to chip in. Peltola over to help as well, trying to step around McConaughey and can't. And NC State clears again with about a minute left on the power play for the Tar Heels. Foster walks it in. Knocked down by McConaughey. Another penalty coming up on NC State. Shot coming from Cobber. That one slides wide. And now NC State going to touch up and a penalty coming. They're going to call boarding. That's one of those plays that has been highly debated, particularly recently with some hits in the NHL. Little bit of a late turn there from Foster. And it's unfortunate now for NC State that McConaughey and Cowan, who are two of their better defensemen, are sitting side by side in the sin bin.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a late turn, but at the same time, you got to say it's a little bit of a predictable turn. You didn't have much of a lane going down the wall. One of those same situations, it's hard to avoid contact there, but a very cerebral play from Patrick O'Shaughnessy, allowing the Ice Pack to touch up, and you get this 5-on-3 earlier than you could have otherwise.
40 seconds left on the 5-on-3. O'Shaughnessy top of the near circle. He'll leave it off for Grady, who walks it back up top. Slid across for Foster. Drop down low, looking for the feed in the middle. In the skates of O'Shaughnessy, he can't get the shot away as Cobber tried to feed it through. O'Shaughnessy again, 20 seconds left of 5-on-3 hockey. Back up top for Foster. He'll switch places with Patrick O'Shaughnessy and hand it off. The goal scorer for the Tar Heels has it blocked by Jack Strong, and it's all the way out into neutral ice. This should probably do it for the 5-on-3. Carried back in by Grady. Peltola drops it off to nobody, and Foster going to be pressured here as he comes out of the penalty box. Great play by Cowan, helping out now Bressingham. Forces it all the way down low, and eventually Foster able to get away. But this North Carolina power play, they got set up on the 5-on-3. NC State's done a pretty good job of disrupting them so far.
Yeah, that they have, and they've kept everything to the outside, which is exactly what you want to do against a power play like this one for UNC.
One-timer coming, big save made by Lawrence. He came out to the top of the crease to challenge that one. Best chance so far in this one.
Yeah, that's a great save from Lawrence, especially when you look at his glove positioning. He's able to get that hand out in front of the rest of his body and keep it low so that he tracks that one all the way in. There's a little bit of sliver space under that glove above the pad, but because he saw it all the way through, he's able to make that save and hold on to it.
So 2:19 left in period number 1, 46 seconds left on the boarding penalty to Cade McConaughey of NC State. Ice Pack win the draw, ripped around the glass and out by Nick Labrizzi, and that will kill some more clock.
Yeah, the Tar Heels have really got to get something going here. They've had way too much time in the zone on this power play to not have anything come of it.
Leighton Walsh near corner, working on Thronson, he lugs it behind. Drop back up the wall and laid along for Zajic. Seen all the way by Lawrence, and he'll fight it off with the glove. Big hit there from Labrizzi to jar the puck loose. McEnany unable to clear, though, and Zajic slaps it around and into the near side corner. Walsh first there for the Tar Heels. He'll be pressured by a couple of Ice Pack players. He's got some help from Gilligan as well. As it's dropped off for Zajic. Power play over. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey, and a shot is blocked out of play over on the far side as Carson Rain tried to fire one at the net, but a big kill there for NC State.
Yeah, and that's a big whistle, too, for NC State, because even though the power play had expired, a lot of times you hear people say that the power play isn't over until the next whistle, because it's pretty much true. And getting that whistle almost immediately after the power play expires, you're able to get a full new set of guys out there, and that's a huge play for the Ice Pack.
Down to the final 90 seconds here in period 1. Another offensive zone draw for the Heels. Herman for the puck up against UNC's Peltola. And we poke to the middle where Robinson can take it away for NC State. Elevates it through the neutral zone, getting a glove to it. Arini trying to control. He's going to knock down Edwards in an effort to jar the puck loose. Fought for and taken by Zach Robinson. He's double-teamed. Cobber lifts his stick and takes it away. He'll push it forward. And now Peltola walking around. Cowan, backhand shot and a blocker save there from Addison Lawrence. Cowan will chop it over to the far side. Pushed along there by McConaughey. Herman, backhand pass to the middle. Robinson having trouble with it. Skate to stick, finds Arini, and a diving play made, but it's loose in front, and Herman's shot is denied by Brown. Great chance there for the Ice Pack again in transition. Robinson holds it at the blue line. Looking for Herman down low. That'll be stolen away. And the Tar Heels break it out with some speed. Shot from up near the top of the circle. Glove by Lawrence. He will hold on. And another offensive zone draw for the Tar Heels.
So in the pregame, we talked about the star-studded power of the Tar Heels and the depth needing to come through from the Ice Pack. It's been the opposite here in this game. Herman, Arini, Robinson, they have dominated every time they're on the ice for the Ice Pack, and it's the deeper lines of the Tar Heels that have been able to make something happen with Katsius and Peltola. They've been the ones that are all over the place for the Tar Heels.
NC State has it in their defensive zone. Pitchforked out there by Holden Kaufman. Settled nicely by Nick Shook. 20 seconds to go as NC State star freshman carries it in. He's hounded from behind by Zajic. And, Mangle, and the Tar Heels able to clear out into the neutral zone. 10 seconds left in the period. One final push here for NC State as Labrizzi lifts it in. Brown out behind his net to play it. He'll hold it there, and that will finish off period number 1. An early power play goal for the Ice Pack as they're able to take a 1-0 lead here, Graham.
Yeah, I really like the play of the Ice Pack in that period. They truthfully should probably be up by more than one, but a couple fortunate bounces for the Tar Heels have kept them within striking range of this game. But the power play has looked great every time it's been out there for the Ice Pack, and Garrett Arini the difference maker so far.
Yeah, NC State, of course, got that goal from Arini, and I think you said, a few missed opportunities for the Pack. But we're going to turn our focus down to the Tar Heels bench as our own Braden Winters is going to talk things over here with head coach Adam Dowda of North Carolina. Braden?
Dowda, we want to talk about how to keep the game clean yet physical, a very physical game between these two. How do you manage to do that?
Yeah, it's really tough towing that line between being physical and going over the edge, and I'm just doing my best to tell my guys we need to play with that intensity, with that compete level, but not cross the line. Obviously, as you saw, to start off that Carolina Classic, we took a penalty right away. It's a little bit of the atmosphere and telling our guys to get on their horse, but I think as the game's gone on, we've eased into it a little bit more here.
All right, sounds good. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Braden. So we're through 20 minutes here at PNC Arena. NC State leading the Carolina Classic 1-0 over North Carolina.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, it's actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Chris Lehman and Graham Tuck back with you here at PNC Arena. After 20 minutes here at the Carolina Classic, it is a 1-0 lead for the NC State Ice Pack. And Graham, it was kind of a really weird period. There were a lot of interesting things. We talked about how unique it was going to be with the way the game started. I thought we'd see a lot of energy out of the crowd with the overtime and the tight late game scenario, but it still seemed like it took a while for everyone to get into it.
Yeah, it really did. And if anything, NC State felt like they had the edge in that first period. And even in the resumption of the game from Friday, but UNC obviously the one coming out on top with that Florian Zajic goal. But at the same time, NC State got their feet underneath them earlier. You heard it from Coach Dowda himself. He felt that his team got their legs, they got more adjusted and eased into it more as the period went on. But at the same time, the Ice Pack have been the team that's dominated in the crucial areas of the game. I felt like they've been better in the neutral zone, the forecheck, their breakout improved as the period went along. and this is going to be a crucial break for the Tar Heels to see how they adjust.
You talk about what Coach Dowda said. I spoke with him as well before the game, and I asked him, this is only a second time in a game at PNC Arena, so I asked him if it was any more comfortable, and he kind of said yes and no. Obviously, you've done it before, you're a little bit more used to it, but at the same time, they don't play in front of this many people all that often. 2 times a year, usually tops. So it's still very different. I think you kind of alluded to it there. The emotions of the game got really to both teams. We saw a good number of penalties. Both teams had a pair of power plays in that period, and that was the difference. NC State found a way to score when North Carolina didn't.
Yeah, and that power play, both of them really, they looked great for the Ice Pack. Only the first one capitalized upon. But the Tar Heels, they had 2 power plays, and they had a long 5-on-3. They got some good looks on it, but they weren't able to really get anything, that I would qualify as grade A scoring chance. And I think a part of that is the fact that they're looking for the perfect shot. Everything's being kept out to the outside very well by the Ice Pack penalty kill, and even at even strength, their defense is doing a great job at that. But the power play, and even at even strength, the Tar Heels have got to do a better job just firing pucks towards the net. Good things are going to come when you're able to do that. Not looking for the perfect opportunity, just one that's good enough.
Well, and one thing that it has always kind of been the case, or the trend when these two teams meet this season, is the team that's the best through the neutral zone is the team that has the advantage at that point. You can always see it. You can see it at that period, or in that period. You could see it when NC State was able to hem North Carolina in their own end, and they got all those chances. And then we saw a period of time where North Carolina did the same. So to me, that's really the thing to keep an eye on, is the play of the blue lines.
Yeah, and we mentioned it very briefly earlier. The North Carolina blue line is a little thin right now. They've got Henry Foster playing back on defense. He's normally a forward. He's a very skilled, very talented player, but how he adjusts to that new role for him, it's a captain, so he's no stranger to having to step up and fill needs. But how he adjusts and how NC State potentially takes advantage of that shorthandedness on the blue line, that's going to be a storyline as this game goes on, I feel.
Absolutely, but for right now, both teams back in the locker room. Ice Pack holding a 1-0 lead over the Tar Heels. We'll be back here on the first intermission.
And welcome to a very, very important game here in ACC country. The North Carolina Tar Heels against the NC State Wolves. UNC looked like the best team in the ACC.
What is it that binds us to this place as to no other? It is not the well, or the bell, or the stone walls, or the crisp October nights, or the memory of Dawnwood's blooming. No, our love for this place is based on the fact that it is, as it was meant to be, the university of the people.
Welcome back to PNC Arena. Chris Layman and Graham Tuck with you at the Carolina Classic, where NC State holds a 1-0 lead over North Carolina. And Graham, I'm going to take a little bit more of a deeper look at some of the things that we were talking about, and we'll start with the goal that NC State scored on the power play, and it was kind of their recipe for success. Even though they only have 1 goal tonight, it's been what has worked the best. They get the puck up high, they get traffic in front, and then they create chaos in front of the net.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was on that Garrett Arini goal. It's just an absolute scrum in front of the net. Lucas Brown makes the initial save, but isn't able to control the rebound, and in the process of trying to corral it, he comes out of the crease. So there was a little bit of a question after the goal was scored by Arini. Is this going to stand? Are they going to look at goalie interference? But because he was outside of his crease, there wasn't really any kind of cause for UNC to have concern over whether or not the goal was official. So Arini being able to roof that puck in tight and find an open net, that's the difference so far. And on the power play, they had another chance to do so, but Zach Herman, he wasn't able to get his on net. And it could be 2-0 Ice Pack. You mentioned the power play been the bread and butter for NC State.
Yeah, and the Tar Heels have a lot of times been the more opportunistic team in this series, particularly this year. And you can see why. They've got a lot of speed out on the wings. Tommy Gilligan and Patrick O'Shaughnessy in particular can get out there, they can get on the rush and create chances. But a lot like the game on Friday night, how it had gone for most of that contest, NC State did a really good job of quieting that top line. You mentioned the top line for NC State, Robinson, Herman, Arini. They've done a really good job matched up and defending against that top line of North Carolina.
Yeah, they have. And I think another big part of that is the play of even the depth guys of NC State. They've been able to control the breakout, the break into of UNC. The Tar Heels haven't been able to get those rush chances that they capitalize upon so frequently. And both teams have been really good in transition defense. You mentioned it before the break. The neutral zone is going to be what decides most games, especially this one. NC State's been the better team there, especially as the period had gotten closer to an end. So if they can carry that into the second, I really like their chances to get more on the board here.
The other thing I want to kind of take a look at here and focus on a little more too is the goaltending. Lucas Brown obviously kind of gets a little bit of an extra warm-up with that first contest being finished up. He looked really good there. He was seeing the puck really well, made a couple of big stops on deflections. And on the other end, Addison Lawrence had to sit for a while after warming up because of that resumed game where Isaac Toyer had to go in. And so he comes in and fights off some shots through traffic, does a really good job of controlling his rebounds for the most part as well. So I feel like both goaltenders have stepped up in this first period also.
Yeah, I'd agree. And Lawrence is a bigger guy. He's going to be able to see through traffic better than most just because of the angle that he has to be able to see through the traffic in front. He's done a great job of tracking pucks into his body, and his glove position is great. His positional awareness, even just where he is in the blue paint, is great as well. I think that he's done a great job through 20 minutes, and he's a big reason. I mean, he's made not, two-star saves that you look back on like, wow, this is going on SportsCenter, but he's made every save he's had to, and he's done it very fundamentally disciplined.
Absolutely. Well, as we've seen throughout the course of this series, not just this year, but in the past, a one-goal lead certainly isn't safe, so there's still plenty of time for the Tar Heels to get back in this one. 1-0 lead for NC State after 20 minutes. We'll be back to take a look at the adjustments for both teams headed into the second.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Closing in on the start of the second period here at PNC Arena, the Carolina Classic between NC State and North Carolina, a 1-0 lead for the Ice Pack. And Graham, now let's take a look ahead at this second period in the second 20 minutes, and we're going to start with NC State. They certainly seem to have the advantage for most of that first period. They had the best chances, and they only come away with a 1-goal lead. So to me, it's about capitalizing in the second.
Yeah, just keep doing the things that have gotten you to this point so far. Honestly, there's not too much negative to look at if you're NC State. The breakout early on was a struggle. The UNC forecheck did a great job to come out of the gates and hem the Ice Pack in their own zone for a little bit. But as the period progressed, once they killed off that 5-on-3 and the power play that ensued after they killed off the 5-on-3, they did a great job of making sure that they dominated the pace, they controlled how the game went, and when they're able to do that, it's going to result in wins, and it has all season long. They've just got to keep controlling the pace.
I think if you look on the other side for North Carolina, as we've talked about, they're usually a team that starts slow, particularly in this series, and then gets better as they go on. And you could see that in period number 1. But I think the big thing for them, as you mentioned a couple of times, is getting to the high danger areas, getting into the slot, getting into the low slot right on top of Addison Lawrence and making him a little bit more uncomfortable to get those really good chances.
Yeah, and I think what's going to end up having to happen for UNC to get those opportunities is you're going to see the defense be a little bit more aggressive in getting the puck up the ice when they have possession in their own zone. Looking for those stretch passes to get guys like Gilligan, guys like O'Shaughnessy that you talk about ad nauseum. Get them the puck in open space and rush chances. If they can do that, they're going to be able to get the puck down low to those high danger scoring chances and areas. But at the same time, if the forecheck for the Ice Pack keeps doing what they have been doing and being physical, which is another area that I feel like NC State's been the better team, they are going to be able to have opportunities to capitalize on mental mistakes and turnovers if that defense for the Tar Heels is more aggressive as this game goes on.
It was definitely the Ice Pack with the advantage early on in that period, but North Carolina was the team that took control later on. What are you expecting to see when these two teams come out to start the second?
I think that the nerves are going to have settled a little bit for both teams. I mean, you're kind of, for lack of a better term, a period and a half into this game rather than a period. So these guys have been here before for the vast majority. This is the first time ever that the two teams have played here twice in a single season. So this is an environment that it's new, but they're no stranger to at the same time. So just settle things down, play the kind of game that you want to play, and whichever team is able to do a better job of that is going to get the chances that they like.
All right, well, we're just a couple minutes away from puck drop for period number 2, so we'll step aside and be back with the second period.
And welcome to a very, very important game here in ACC country. The North Carolina Tar Heels against the NC State Wolfpack.
UNC looked like the best team in the ACC.
What is it that binds us to this place as to no other? It is not the well, or the bell, or the stone walls, or the crisp October nights, or the memory of dogwoods blooming. No, our love for this place is based on the fact that it is, as it was meant to be, the university of the people.
My name is Adam Dowda. I'm the head coach of the UNC hockey team. I played college hockey at Colgate University, NCAA Division I. I've been coaching for the past 2 years, and this is my first season as head coach of the UNC hockey team. Hockey's growing down here in the Southeast, and the success the program has had over the past few years really drew me to this position, and I think our future is very bright for the whole program. The student athlete who comes to Carolina has the ability to get a world-class education and the social experience that you might not get at other D3 or even D1 institutions. But along with that, they have the ability to play hockey at a very high level and the potential to go play NCAA Division I, hopefully in our near future. I look for character and attitude the most above all, even above playing ability. We have a great culture established, a team-first mentality. Guys are playing for each other on the ice and they're supporting each other off the ice. And that's something very important to me. I think that's crucial to the team's success. At the end of the day, we want to win games, we want to win championships. I think the potential here is unlike any other, and I'm just excited about that.
Quick shot, he scores! And the Tar Heels off and running.
Our student athletes here have a very good opportunity to experience playing in front of very large crowds. Last year, played in front of 24,000 people at the Frozen Finley game against NC State. This year, we're playing a PNC game where the Carolina Hurricanes play. We're anticipating 10,000 fans. We try to build events around each home game to build enthusiasm, energy, and within the community, and we have very good crowds that allow our players to really experience a college hockey atmosphere. And that is the long-term goal, is to win national championships at the NCAA level.
Welcome back to PNC Arena. Chris Lehman, Graham Tuck with you. We've got Braden Winters between the benches for us. He will talk with head coach Tim Healy down on the ice. Braden, what you got?
Hey, Chris. I'm here with Coach Tim Healy. We're going to talk about here what, after coming out of this game and losing the first one, and coming out and scoring in the first period, how does that feel? What did you have to tell to your team?
I think it was a great bounce back because, we had played really well at the end of that third period. We killed the penalty, we controlled play, and overtime we hit a post. We actually even probably had the better chances than that. So it was a good job of focusing on what we did well, and carrying that in you just got to put it behind you. Literally, it's a new game, and that's what we did.
Yeah. And Carolina goalie Lucas Brown playing phenomenal tonight. What is your recipe to stop him and to get the goals?
Hockey cliches are true, right? We're going to have to get people in front, traffic, and look for a rebound.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Braden. That was head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack. And Graham, I think, not surprised how he felt. His team has certainly looked for the majority of the game, and the previous one that we finished has looked like the better team.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think that they have gotten the better chances. The capitalization has just been there for the Tar Heels, especially in that overtime period. And they haven't had the great chances in the first period, but I feel like they'll be able to get to their game a little bit more here in the second, and probably riding the emotions of that win in the first a little bit.
Well, NC State will start with Herman centering Foster and Robinson. Carolina will counter with O'Shaughnessy, Grady, and Henry Foster back up front. I wondered about that. Head coach Adam Dowda told me before the game he felt like his team had the firepower up front to compensate if he was not up front. But with no goals in that first period, it looks like he's shaking things up a bit. Tar Heels looking to break in. Two teams have swapped ends for this period, so the Tar Heels in white moving right to left. Weaving through traffic, Henry Foster over to the far side. The one-timer deflected up and out of play as O'Shaughnessy stepped into that one.
Yeah, I love that look for UNC right off the bat. You're just trying to get pucks to the net. That is not a grade A scoring chance for UNC. But when you have the one-timer that O'Shaughnessy does, that's not a bad shot at all. So just getting pucks towards Lawrence is going to be the recipe for success here.
O'Shaughnessy drops it back, shot from the point, just missed. And I'm not sure Lawrence had a good beat on it, but it ended up wide. Arini up the near wall, looking to the middle, hit a skate with that pass, and Foster collects in the offensive zone. Looking in the high slot for O'Shaughnessy, it'll be stripped away, and NC State comes back up the ice. Here's Herman crossing the blue line, floating one to the middle, and Arini overskated it, and now a stretch pass misses Foster, ends up all the way down, and Addison Lawrence has to come out and play. Worked around the near wall, Kaufman forks it along. Nick Shook loses his stick, so he loses the puck, and now North Carolina pushing it back up ice. Shook steps into one in the neutral zone. Can't control them.
This has been a great shift for O'Shaughnessy. He tried to catch Lawrence out of position on that last shot as he was trying to come out of his crease to play the puck. O'Shaughnessy almost snuck it past him.
Beautiful move from O'Shaughnessy. He'll step into the high slot. Shot blocked by Kaufman, who went down to a knee. NC State doing a good job of containing O'Shaughnessy for now. But the Tar Heels have had the better of the play here in the first minute and a half. NC State looking to establish the forecheck here. Kaufman into the middle. That one's deflected away from Nick Shook, and Kuhn-Doig will bring it out for the Heels. Into the offensive zone, fires away off the crest of the uniform of Lawrence. He couldn't corral it, but NC State has the rebound as McConaughey throws it off the glass now.
Good back check there from Cowan, able to make that play, ties up the stick. I believe that was Peltola that he tied up, unable to get a shot on the rebound opportunity. Otherwise, it could be 1-1.
Tar Heels looking to break out. That one's broken up as McConaughey chips it back in. Moved right back along by the Tar Heels, but having trouble connecting on those passes out of the zone. Cowan looking to stretch it out off the stick of Oliver, who will get to it in front of the net. Backhanded in front, directed on goal, save made by Brown. It's still loose on the near side, and the Tar Heels will throw it off the glass, but Oliver knocks it down. Heels back in control, elevated forward by Peltola. Scott Daniel sends it right back in. Good forecheck from Bressingham, walking along the goal line. In front for Oliver, who's knocked down, directing it towards the goal. I'm not sure if Brown made the save or if it just went wide. Either way, it stays out.
Yeah, I think Walsh, you got a pad to that.
Walsh lifts one in. He's going to chase it down himself, flying around Jack Strong, who holds the puck and looks to bring it out for NC State. Bad touch, though. Here come the Heels. Cobber had trouble settling the bouncing puck. Now it's Alex James for NC State, looking for Daniel. Puck hopping around a little bit here to start the period. Bressingham now sends it in.
Much faster pace start to this period than in the first. Both teams really seem to have eased into this one nicely.
Loose puck in the neutral zone, taken by NC State's Spencer Harmon. Dropped to the defense. Strong looking rink wide. Misses the mark with the pass to Todd, but NC State has the numbers to negate any icing. Here's Todd, a bad angle shot, loose in front on the rebound, and Harmon throws it off the pads of Brown. Now the Heels clear it down the ice. This one's not going to get to the goal line. NC State will have to play it. And now Addison Lawrence is going to have to cover it up. Awkward bounce off the back wall, and an offensive zone draw here for North Carolina. But the word that comes to mind right now for me with this game, Graham, is disjointed.
Yeah, it's kind of a frenetic pace to start this second period, and I really like that chance there for the Ice Pack. Spencer Harmon, that opportunity on the rebound down right in front of Brown, who you see right now. Harmon's only got 1 goal on the season. He's a freshman, hasn't played all that much, and so for him to be able to make a high-danger scoring chance out of seemingly nothing is pretty impressive.
Tar Heels have it off the offensive zone draw. Foster dispossessed by Labrizzi behind the goal. Breakout pass held in at the blue line, though. Second try will get to neutral ice. Zajic goes D-to-D with Gleason, and O'Shaughnessy will feather it down low. NC State looking to break out. Labrizzi's pass blocked. He'll retreat with it and sweep it along for Arini now. Looking to the middle, he's got Robinson. Floated along for Herman to track down. Looking to the middle, Herman's pass off a skate, and back the other way come the Heels. Far side, Grady. He gets the pass from Foster, stopping up near the top of the circle. Slings one wide of the near post, and now Robinson loses his stick trying to poke it along. NC State does clear the zone. Having trouble pushing it past the red line, though. Arini now gains that red line. He needs a change, so he sends it in. Kaufman on the forecheck. Steps past Gleason. Has him in, coming in. Shook. And a beautiful defensive play there by Zajic to deny the pass. Shook steals it away on the goal line, though, and can't get the shot away from the high slot. It'll be fought out into neutral ice by Grady. And now icing on the Heels. I thought the clearance came from in front of the other side of the red line. I didn't think it was going to be icing on that one.
I didn't think so either, and it seems like the two linesmen agree. This is going to be an ozone draw for the Ice Pack. They've got a chance to make something happen here. This is somewhat of a gift to the black and red.
14:55 left in the second period. NC State still with the 1-goal advantage. Shook picks up the loose puck off the faceoff, but Foster pokes it out into neutral ice. And it's out of play as Cowan tried to lift it into the far corner.
I think you've seen a little bit of what we talked about. Both teams being a bit more aggressive in the neutral zone, trying to break up those stretch passes. You saw it there from Henry Foster, who, even though he's back on the forward line, he moves up in the neutral zone, trying to make takeaway, create an odd man rush, and it resulted in a chance for Herman and Arini the other way. But then when they couldn't capitalize on it, it was numbers for the Heels.
Here's Mangle lugging it behind the net, pestered there by Cowan, who pins him to the wall in the far corner. Some help for Cowan coming in the way of Holden Kaufman, who had it knocked off his stick, but the ice pack still clear to neutral ice. Up the far wall in the skates of Rain, who has to retreat with it. Rink wide now, Mangum. Stepping up there, McConaughey. He'll come away with the puck at his own blue line. NC State trying to look for a way through the neutral zone. Brenner chips it in to avoid icing. Brown tangled up with his teammate, upended him. Now he's out of position. NC State looking to capitalize. They do. Kaufman on the empty net. Shades of Rod Brindamore back in 06. A bad play behind the net, and NC State doubles their lead.
Wow, that is a mental lapse there from Brown. You see him, he's going to collide with his own teammate right there, Glonick, and just unable to get back to the near post. That's a great pass from behind the net to find the open man. You see that Brown is going to that far post. He seals that one off well, but the behind the net pass, he's unable to react to it in time. His defenders can't bail him out, and it's 2-0 Ice Pack.
That's a big goal for the Pack. Things had kind of come to a lull, especially, we've talked about it, it's probably a more evenly distributed crowd than we have seen in a lot of the games here at PNC, but still the advantage to the Ice Pack fans. And if you're NC State, you got to get them back into it, and I think that did it.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is a big play here for the Ice Pack. How the Tar Heels respond to that goal is going to dictate the rest of the game, because even though there is a lot of time left, you mentioned it, the Ice Pack have been the team to jump out to this early lead historically in the series so far this season. They've got to be able to bounce back to it.
Well, and if you're the Tar Heels as well, you shouldn't feel too uncomfortable. You scored 3 unanswered to win the game that started Friday and finished today. So they have been in this exact position not too long ago. Icing waved off. Miglior stuck behind the net. Pestered there by Bresingham. He'll slide it out for Oliver, who gives it back along the hashes. Bresingham's shot whistled just wide of the near post. James steps in to hold the zone, but unable to corral it. Peltola now for the Tar Heels. Gilligan will leave it for Doig, who gives it back high slot. Quick shot, and a glove save held onto by Addison Lawrence.
Wow, that's a really impressive chance there from the Tar Heels. That was very well played by the back check of the Ice Pack, but able to get into the zone cleanly and then create a shooting lane for Gilligan. That seemed like it was going to be nothing, and they ended up making a shot out of it, and it creates an O-zone draw.
Not quite 7 minutes into the second period. NC State now with the second goal have a 2-0 lead. It was just like this on Friday. Tar Heels looking for the answer. Shot slid wide by Cobber. Loose on the side of the goal though. Heels get back to it, forcing their way in front. NC State holds the line and moves it to the near wall where Logan Todd can carry it out. He finds a man in the center. That was Harmon, unable to collect it. Now the Tar Heels move it back up and out. Cobber again with it. He'll throw it right in on Lawrence, who steers it to the near side for Labrizzi. NC State defenseman picks up speed from behind his own net. Right through the neutral zone. Labrizzi takes the shot, reaching down. Brown holds onto it with the glove.
Would have liked to see NC State try to set up in the zone a little bit more there. You know, after that tacky goal by NC State, it's reasonable to think that Brown might be in his head a little bit, playing from behind, and so you want to try to get some great chances for the Ice Pack. And if you're Coach Healy, you got to try to urge your guys, you know, let's try to make the smart play. We're playing with the lead.
NC State scores right off the draw. It's 3-0. And it looks like it's the captain again.
And this is a fantastic play, an unbelievable setup play. Herman knows exactly what he's doing with this draw. He wins it forward through the legs of Peltola, and Arini is already streaking right in front of the net. The defenders had no chance, neither did Lucas Brown. That is a fantastic display of execution off the faceoff by Zach Herman. Garrett Arini gets the finish, his second of the game, and that's just exactly how you drew it up if you're the Ice Pack.
What you didn't draw up if you were NC State was a penalty immediately following. Just 4 seconds after play restarts, it'll be Herman who assisted on the goal, going off for a tripping penalty.
Yeah, obviously not what you want, and the power play has been where UNC's had their best opportunities, obviously so, and so you're going to have to bear down here if you're the Ice Pack.
It'll be Peltola to take the draw for the Tar Heels. Emery Oliver, the centerman, gets back to the loose puck off the draw and clears it into neutral ice. Bresingham knocked off the puck now by O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy will get it back. Bresingham forces him off of it. And now Labrizzi throws it around the wall. Held in by O'Shaughnessy again. He'll drop it back up top for Henry Foster. Backhanded over to Shaughnessy again. Now Grady looking for Foster. That pass deflected out of the zone. O'Shaughnessy right back down the right wing. He'll carry it behind with speed. All the way around. He orbits the zone with it and hands it off to Grady. Into the middle. Open as Cobber takes the shot. Pad save made by Lawrence. And Thronson cleans up the loose change. NC State will clear it out.
That's exactly the look you want, though, if you're the Carolina power play. Cobber is wide open in the slot, has a great look, and that's a great save by Lawrence.
Halfway through the man advantage now. Heels having to reset behind their own net. Long pass up the ice. O'Shaughnessy cross ice. Grady will take it off the wall in front of his own bench. Stepping around Labrizzi, he gets it deep. First one to it on the far side, O'Shaughnessy. Slaps it back up top for Foster, who slides it now to Grady. His shot, glove down by Lawrence. Unable to hold on to the rebound, though. It's caught up in skates, and NC State will find it and clear again. Foster will loop back with that. I do want to take a quick moment to say Garrett Arini, who holds the record for NC State in terms of games played, as Foster tries to drag his way in and can't. But again, a school high games played, I should say, for Arini, who's now up over 120. But that last goal, his 49th. So he's one away from 50 career goals for NC State.
And that's a fantastic milestone to reach, no matter how long it takes you to get there. Just one of those plateau numbers that is always a feather in your cap when you can hit it.
NC State has killed off the penalty to Zach Herman, who's back out on the ice, looking to fly one through the neutral zone for Arini, but it'll be knocked down by the high stick of Patrick O'Shaughnessy, and a face-off will come back into the UNC end.
That is a huge kill for the Ice Pack. They relatively were able to keep everything outside. You had that one chance for Cobber, but Lawrence has been the best player on the ice so far, in my opinion. He has stood up to every test through the midway point of this game.
Herman wins the draw backwards for Robinson. He'll hand it off to McConaughey. NC State looking to set up another play off the draw. Shot blocked, and now UNC moves it up and out. Walsh with some speed. He'll be held up there by Herman. Decides to send it in front. Nobody there in a white jersey. Miglior's shot knocked down by Walsh, who couldn't get the second try away, and now Cowan's clear is knocked down in the near corner. Heels come away with it. Miglior with the one-timer. Kicked aside by the defenseman McConaughey, and Robinson throws it off the wall. Found Arini, but a little bit too much juice on that pass, and he's unable to hold on to it. Stretch pass off the mark. Cowan has it for the Pack, and with the delayed offsides, he just sends it deep. Walsh looking to break out now for North Carolina. Lost the puck momentarily, slides it forward intended for Mangle, but that's stolen away. Back to it now, Michael Vaglia of the Heels. His shot off the skate of McConaughey. Mangle to it, throws it in front, and it's deflected up and over by Vaglia. NC State again in control. James backhands it behind. Has McConaughey there. He'll swat at it and chip it up the near side. Heels hold the zone. It's Zajic over there. Looking to the middle. Vaglia's one-timer was whipped wide. Mangle sends it right back out in front. Nice job by Kaufman to tie up Vaglia on the second try. Zajic holds the zone again. Working with it now, Vaglia. Shot from an off angle. That one stopped and held on to. And Lawrence with another couple of big saves in that sequence. That shot, actually, coming from Jack White of North Carolina, but they've had some sustained pressure of the Heels, Graham.
Yeah, and it's come from their depth. That's the third and fourth line for the Tar Heels that are making that pressure and hemming the Ice Pack into their own end. And now you're going to get Gilligan and Peltola and Doig out there, see if they can capitalize on this momentum that the Tar Heels have built up.
Heels win the draw. It's Gilligan backhanding it behind the goal. Peltola quickly out in front. Stuff chance there for Doig, and Addison Lawrence holds strong, and he'll keep the Heels off the board for now.
That is a great play by Lawrence to be able to close himself up and stay tight. There was a lot of space for that one to sneak through him. A lot of times you see that one maybe trickle through 5-hole. It's not an uncommon goal to score, but great play from Lawrence.
Pack control off the D-zone draw. Strong pitches it out in front. Emery Oliver can't get to it. And the Heels continuing with a really tough forecheck. Pinching in the defenseman Gleason. Holds it to the wall. Gets some help from Gilligan. Back to Gleason again. Backhanded to the middle. Bouncing puck. Directed over to the near side where Jack Strong picks it up for the Pack. He finds Bresingham. Thrown right in on goal where it can be steered away by Lucas Brown. Now Gilligan can't clear with the breakout pass. Bresingham spins it right back in. Zajic up the wall. He's got Doig there. Can't get to it though. D to D. Strong to Thronson. Lifted forward for Daniel. He'll pitch it along. Zajic gets there for the Heels now. NC State has been able to keep the puck down here near the North Carolina net, but not a lot of chances. Maybe one here. Strong stepping in, and he hit the stick of Gleason, and it will launch out of play. .7:33 left here in the second period, and we talked about NC State needing to capitalize, Graham. I think they've done a pretty darn good job picking up a couple here.
Yeah, they really have, and they've made the most of the opportunities that they've had. You have that play behind the net where Brown, he almost let another one in there from the point, but Brown, that shaky play behind the net colliding with Glonick, they capitalize on that. Then you create a chance out of seemingly nothing where Herman wins the faceoff forward to himself. They're creating chances and capitalizing on them. The Tar Heels have had the chances in this period, but they haven't been able to do anything with them.
Maybe one brewing here as Cobber races down the ice. Throws it down on Lawrence, handled easily with his stick. Centering pass from Cobber, intercepted by Harmon. He's unable to break it out though. Harmon with the second try sends it all the way down. This one's going to be a foot race won by the Heels' Ben Edwards for icing.
And they're getting those pucks, the Tar Heels are, they're getting the puck to the slot, but there's nobody there to collect it most of the time. They're sending pucks that get through the crease. They're cross-ice passes. They're getting the puck to high-danger scoring chances, but it seems like they're just not on the same page. They don't quite know where each other's going to be, and that's why they haven't been able to score.
O'Shaughnessy attempting to win that draw forward. Nice job slowing that down by McEnany, who will pitchfork it up and out, and took a weird bounce off the dasher there and ended up in the ice pack bench. So another face-off coming up. I believe this one will stay in the NC State zone because of where it was cleared from.
Yeah, but they are going to get to change, which is really fortunate for the ice pack because they're sending out Herman's line, and that's your big face-off guy, obviously, for the ice pack. So fortunately, unfortunate that it goes out of play from a D-zone perspective.
Here's Cowan for the Pack, off the glass but not out. Henry Foster there to stop it. He'll be pestered by Marini, who takes it away and swings it across the ice and out. Eric Thronson of North Carolina sends it across for Glonick, who's knocked off the puck momentarily by Herman. Still some pressure from this NC State forward line as Glonick finally gets it out to neutral ice. Grady hands it off for O'Shaughnessy with some speed. He'll carry it behind the net. Cowan watches him there, picked up on the other side by Robinson. Back to the blue line, one-timer from Thronson. Steered away again by Addison Lawrence. And now NC State blocks a shot, has a chance. Arini with some speed, he's got Herman with him. Herman to Arini, there it is! The hat trick for Garrett Arini, and the captain picks up his 50th in an ice pack uniform. NC State, Graham, taking this one over.
Yeah, that is storybook, and you saw it, the D more aggressive there. A bad pitch from Thronson, his shot blocked easily by Herman, and the ice pack just take it the other way with ease. And if you're a goaltender, the one thing you don't want to see is number 8 and number 17 with nobody in between you and them coming at you full speed, and they capitalize. Again, the capitalization on the chances is there for the ice pack in this period where it wasn't in the first, and that's why it's 4-0.
The last two goals both look the same on the score sheet. Garrett Arini from Zach Herman. And the NC State captain coming up big here in the second game. Cowan back in his own end for the Pack. Down under 6 minutes left in this second period. The Heels with a lot of work to do here now. Kutseos Pushed off the puck there. Kaufman first to it for the Pack. He finds Nick Shook. Slid to the middle now for Brenner. He'll feed it back for Shook. That one through the skates of Gleason and into the far corner. Brenner first to it. Errant pass, though, will be taken out by Leighton Walsh. Tar Heels looking to bring something to the party here. Walsh crashing in. Big save made by Lawrence. Oh, no, it went in. It got past Lawrence, who couldn't hold the line, and Leighton Walsh gets the Heels on the board with 5:29 to go.
Wow, this is an amazing play by Walsh. He carries it to the backhand, walks it in. The initial save made, but by kicking his left skate out, Lawrence just lifts the pad enough for it to sneak underneath, and that is a fantastic goal by Leighton Walsh. Wow.
Much needed as well for the Heels. You could feel it starting to slip away from them, a 4-goal lead. We talked about how there really aren't many leads that are safe in this this rivalry and this matchup. 4 goals does seem a little bit difficult, but when you can answer back in less than a minute, all of a sudden, things can change.
Yeah, and I was just getting ready to say before that play was made by Walsh, you got to get one before the intermission if you're UNC. Going into the third, down 4 is seemingly insurmountable. But now, not only did you get one before the break, but you have a quarter of the period left where you can potentially get another if you're UNC.
This is going to be important for NC State to jump right back to where they were. They had controlled most of this period and, of course, had taken a stranglehold on the scoreboard. Jagelski sends it deep for the Pack. Glonick there for the Heels. Scott Daniel on the forecheck with Emery Oliver. Glonick will kick it around to the far side. Foster pushes it along, but not out. Good work by Bressingham. NC State unable to hold, though. Grady pushes it to the middle. It'll be O'Shaughnessy sending it all the way down and going after it. Now we've got a penalty coming up, and it's going to go against Patrick O'Shaughnessy. He upended an NC State player, and he might get another one, slamming his stick like that. You got to be careful. I understand why he's upset. He was trying to get to the puck, and it was really kind of incidental contact, but you got to keep it in check, or else you find yourself with a double minor against a really difficult NC State power play.
Yeah, and that's one of those plays that gets talked about. You often see a penalty getting called. Recently, there's been a debate, is that interference, is it not? When you're trying to chip it to the left of a guy and then go after it to the right, if the defender gets in the way, sometimes that's called interference, but O'Shaughnessy takes his hand up high, and that's going to be a penalty every time.
NC State will set up the man advantage. Robinson open high slot. He fired just high and wide. Arini to it behind the goal. He finds Herman. Pushed back up to the blue line where it can be poked down low by Labrizzi. Good pressure, though, from the Tar Heels, and they're going to clear it all the way down to Addison Lawrence.
I know you got to be more aggressive if you're the Tar Heels. You got to try to make something happen offensively, but Faglia just flew the zone, and if that wasn't a good play made by Mangle, it could have been a 5-on-3 for the Ice Pack. They got to be careful.
Here's Robinson walking down low. Like he thought about lifting that one up. State still in control. Herman has it knocked away and out. Down to a minute and 15 seconds left on the power play for NC State. A chance here to really negate that goal that they gave up right after making it a 4-goal lead. As Nick Shook walking in, takes the shot, save made by Brown. Rebound to Arini, looking to feed it to the middle. That pass intercepted. Now Arini going to take a man down, and we're going to be playing 4-on-4 hockey in a moment. Thrown back behind the goal. Tar Heels going to just let NC State touch it up here. And so we'll have 51 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey with Arini heading to the box. It'll be tripping on the NC State captain.
Yeah, that's a rough penalty there. It kills off the power play. You had a chance to get that lead back up to 4, but now it's an ozone draw. Luckily, if you're the Ice Pack, the Tar Heels are not sitting out their top line here. You got Katsias and Mangle that are going out for the face-off, but this is going to be a power play for the Tar Heels before the period ends. A huge chance.
And the Heels win the draw. It's Edwards back at the blue line. He'll slide it down low. First one there was Thronson of NC State. He'll play catch there on a give and go with Robinson. Thronson through the middle. Fights through a stick check and chips it in down low. Swatted along now by McEnany. Conseillos over there for North Carolina, battling with Labrizzi, who has it pinned to the wall. He'll be knocked down. NC State going to have a 4-on-3 as Labrizzi was knocked down from behind on the second hit. and this is going to get interesting. It'll be 4-on-3 for 25 seconds, then a minute and 9 of 4-on-4, and then another power play for NC State. It'll be Kutseos for boarding.
Yeah, that is a play that you cannot make. I understand the emotions. I understand the intensity that comes with playing an environment like this, but so much open ice going to be out there in the O-zone for the ice pack. And Herman's out there for the face-off. You got Shook out there. You got Robinson. This is going to be really dangerous.
Lots of space to work with for the ice pack. Herman wins the draw. Set up for Shook at the blue line. He'll give it back to Labrizzi. Cutting in Herman. That pass hops his stick, and he's just going to chip it down low. Bad miscommunication, though, for the pack, as that will allow Henry Foster to pitchfork it all the way down.
Yeah, and that'll kill off pretty much the rest of O'Shaughnessy's penalty.
3, 2, and 1. O'Shaughnessy back out. We're back to 4-on-4 for a little over a minute. Nick Shook kicks it down into the zone, trying to chase it down, but it'll be stopped there by Zajic. Foster across the rink, taken off the wall, and pushed forward now to O'Shaughnessy. Patrick O'Shaughnessy steps around a hit from Shook, trying to walk past Herman, and the loose puck fired wide by Glonick. Now Zajic up top. Throws it on goal. That'll be stopped by Lawrence, and a little pushing and shoving there for Herman and Glonick after the whistle.
Got to be careful there if you're Glonick, and the last thing you want is to take this ozone draw at 4-on-4 and turn it into another power play for the ice pack, but that's an absolutely unbelievable display of skill from O'Shaughnessy there, and it creates a great scoring chance for Glonick. Just shot it wide.
So 44 seconds left on the penalty to NC State's Garrett Arini. Kutseos still has a little over a minute left on his sentence. As a shot from the point, handled easily by the glove of Lawrence for another faceoff. 2:20 left in this second period. Again, it'll be Peltola and Oliver on the draw. Collected by Cowan of NC State. Pass behind, though, didn't work out. It was in the skates of McConaughey. Now Cobber works it out. Peltola drops it off for Gleason. D-to-D with Zajic. He'll load one up, and Lawrence saw it the whole way. I think if you're North Carolina here, if you can just continue to do this, obviously with it 4-on-4, you can bleed some of that penalty time off for Kutseos, but you also put yourself in a position where you can kill more time once NC State has the power play if you can keep it down low.
Yeah, this is a good strategy here for the Tar Heels. Even though it's not creating any great scoring chances, it is taking time off of that 4-on-4 and delaying the power play. You got to just take it into the intermission with the score still what it is at this point. You cannot allow a fifth before the third.
Cobber gets a stick to it. That will be deflected down behind the NC State net. Cowan first there for the pack. Daniel will loop back in front of his own net. Stretches it out. Arini, who's out of the box, coming in. Firing at a blocker save made by Brown. Stepping around a man, Oliver. Slides a pass to the middle. It'll deflect out for McConaughey to send deep. 10 seconds left on the power play for NC State. Scott Daniel now absorbing a hit there and then working back out in front. Stuff chance doesn't go. Another try doesn't. Still loose in front. Narini can't turn around and square up to the shot. It'll be taken now by Cobber. He's going to be tied up by Arini. NC State keeps the pressure on. Garrett Arini lifted from behind. His stick was lifted there by O'Shaughnessy. He'll pick up speed through the neutral zone. McConaughey forcing him wide. Loose puck knocked away by James. And it'll still be the Tar Heels with the forecheck. McConaughey throws it up the wall. There's O'Shaughnessy firing away. Got blocked, a rebound, and a scrambling save made by Addison Lawrence with 50 seconds left in the period.
He is calm, cool, and collected in that crease right now. Lawrence just looks unbelievable, and he's doing a great job of keeping his team in front. The Tar Heels have really mounted the pressure, even with less guys on the ice. It's been a good job of the Tar Heels by trying to mount some pressure, and this comeback effort is strong, but Lawrence is doing everything he has to.
Off the offensive zone draw, Kutseos trying to force his way into the slot. Can't take the puck with him. NC State will look to break it out. Errant pass to the near side. Walsh in to put pressure on. Strong unable to clear for the pack. Now Gilligan tied up, lost his footing, got it back, and his shot was blocked. Now Jack Strong without a stick trying to tie things up over in that far corner. Less than 30 ticks on the clock here in the second. puck still stuck behind the NC State net. Great work by Jack Strong, who in the process of pinning the puck there, picked up his stick too. Nick Shook now floats it along. Holden Kaufman will win the race to the puck, putting pressure on Brown, looking to throw it out in front, and he hit the back of the net with it. Now Ben Edwards breaks it out for Gilligan. He'll skate it through the neutral zone, takes a hit from Kaufman as the time will run out on period number 2. So NC State extending their lead, making it 4-0 at one point, but Leighton Walsh able to cut it to a 3-goal lead for North Carolina.
Yeah, and Addison Lawrence is the only reason that it's still a 3-goal lead for the Ice Pack. The Tar Heels really came after the Ice Pack on the forecheck in the neutral zone. They were able to dominate the end of that period, even with having a penalty kill or two to go through, and Lawrence has just been unbelievable so far in this game. The Ice Pack have got to readjust in the second intermission. They've done everything great so far, but they've got to lock in and finish out this game strong.
Well, we're through 40 minutes. NC State with a 3-goal advantage headed to the third. We'll be back with the second intermission.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
We're back here at PNC Arena. It is a 4-1 lead for the Ice Pack after 40 minutes here at the Carolina Classic. Chris Lehman now joined by assistant coach Scott Steffen of the Tar Heels. And coach, it was a decent period for you guys in the first. You're able to stay in tight, but the Ice Pack kind of pulled away a little bit from you there in the second. What happened that kind of did your team get away from their game, or what was it the Ice Pack were doing that led to that?
Well, the Ice Pack were finishing. They were aggressive, winning the battles to the puck. We weren't. It was that simple. They had a lot more heart in that period than we did, and it showed out there, being down 3 goals. So it's not where we want to be going into the third period.
Well, and one thing I talked with head coach Adam Dowda before the game, he talked about the hunger of this team, and when they're hungry, that's when they're at their best. Someone who looked really hungry later in that period was Leighton Walsh. He made a really aggressive move to the net, and it paid off.
Absolutely, and that's what we need more of for the full 20 minutes from up and down the lineup. It's taking care of the details. It really is. It's finishing checks. It's pucks on net, getting net presence. We need to clean up those details going into the third period.
Well, and as we look ahead to the third period, you talk about cleaning up those details. There were points in time, it feels like, where your team was able to establish the forecheck, get some pressure, and get some zone time. How do you keep that going and sustain that to give yourselves a chance to get back into it in the third?
When we play our system and stick to our system, stick to our game plan, we're very successful. And we didn't execute well on our game plan the first two periods. So for the third period, it's back to basics, back to our game plan. If we do that, we've got a shot here coming back.
All right, Coach, thanks for the time and good luck in the third.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's assistant coach Scott Steffen of the Tar Heels. We'll be back with more at the second intermission.
And welcome to a very, very important game here in ACC country. The North Carolina Tar Heels against the NC State Wolfpack.
UNC looked like the best team in the ACC.
What is it that binds us to this place as to no other? It is not the well, or the bell, or the stone walls, or the crisp October nights, or the memory of Dawnwood's blooming. No, our love for this place is based on the fact that it is, as it was meant to be, the university of the people.
Chris Lehman and Graham Tuck back with you here at PNC Arena. 4-1 lead for the Ice Pack over the Tar Heels. Graham, and we were able to talk with assistant coach Scott Steffen there a moment ago. And the theme is always the same for this team. And, of course, you hear that a lot when it comes to these hockey teams. It's always about the cliches. It's getting back to basics. And for NC State, they were able to get the puck to the net, and it paid off.
Yeah, it really did, and they did a much better job of capitalizing on the chances that they had. We talked about it. They were the better team in that first period, we felt. And honestly, we heard it from Coach Healy, too. He felt like the Ice Pack were the better team in overtime of the game that we resumed at the beginning of this game today. So they've really dominated the pace of play and had the better chances, but it just hadn't come through on the scoreboard thus far. But in that second period, they really did. And what a game for Garrett Arini. I mean, the hat trick here in this environment, his 50th career goal to cap it all off. You can't write a better story.
Yeah, so for the Ice Pack, they're doing things right. On the other side, that was one thing that Coach Steffen talked about. They're not playing their system, the Tar Heels, that is. They haven't been able to get in and establish that forecheck, but there is a bright spot. They've always been really good at bouncing back. We've seen that in particular against NC State, and it took only about 45 seconds for Leighton Walsh to respond, and that was a really important goal. 3 goals is still a big obstacle to overcome for this Tar Heel team, but it's better than 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, you had to get one before the break. Leighton Walsh did just that, and they were really able to mount more pressure in the O-zone once that goal came through, despite the fact that they were shorthanded not once but twice there after that goal from Walsh. So the penalty kill looked good for the Tar Heels at the end of that period, and they had the momentum going into the break. Addison Lawrence keeping them off the scoreboard after that Walsh tally. But if they can come out with the same intensity and fire that they did at the end of the second when this third period starts, they're going to make life difficult for the Icemen.
Well, the other thing I want to touch on here very quickly during this segment is special teams. Seen a lot of penalties coming out of that second period. Both teams, I think, at some point letting their emotions get the better of them. Discipline's going to be important, especially if you're NC State. They've been able to kill off every power play that North Carolina has had, but with all the talent that the Tar Heels have, eventually that's going to come back to bite them.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is where you really miss a guy like Cole Kosowski if you're the Tar Heels. He had 20 points in 12 games before leaving the team midway through the season. So O'Shaughnessy and those guys like Gilligan and even Walsh, you had a depth guy step up with that goal right there. But your guys have got to step up and play the smart game. We saw O'Shaughnessy lose his cool a little bit after he took his penalty. He could have easily gotten another one tacked onto it. Fortunately for the Tar Heels, he did not. But if you can, keep your cool, play your game, get to your systems like they were talking about, you've got a chance, especially against a team like, you never feel like you're out of it if you're UNC in this series.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to step aside here for a moment at the second intermission. When we come back, we'll wrap things up and get you set for the third.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour, and guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Closing in on the start of period number 3 here at PNC Arena. Chris Lehman, Graham Tuck back with you as we get set for the final 20 minutes. NC State has a 4-1 lead, but I think most importantly for them, it's going to be about not making the big mistakes here in the last period.
Yeah, you really just got to keep doing the things that have gotten you to this point. If you try to play outside of yourself, if you're NC State, that's where the Tar Heels are going to be able to capitalize. We talked about it before the game. We talked about it before. These Tar Heels, they've got the star power that if you make that mistake, they're going to make you pay for it. And they haven't been doing that so far. Obviously, the offensive pressure mounted by Leighton Walsh and that depth line for the Tar Heels to end that period. But you just got to not make any costly mistakes, and you're sitting pretty here if you're the Ice Pack.
I think when you look at the thing that the Tar Heels need to do better than anything else, it was summed up, I think, pretty well by Coach Scott Steffen, and that was getting in and taking care of the details. They made some mistakes, some turnovers that led particularly to that last goal for Arini, and they've got to clean those things up before they can really get things going on the offensive end.
Yeah, I think that they have the the big things down, but the small errors are what's costing them so far. Like we mentioned, that play behind the net, the second goal by NC State, where Lucas Brown just running into Cam Glonick behind the net, that's something that just can't happen. It's the things that are costing them are small mistakes, and NC State is just doing what they have to do to get out in front. There's not much else to say other than the fact that NC State's played their game. We talked about it earlier. At the first intermission, whoever plays their game better is going to have the advantage in the second. NC State clearly did that.
Well, at some point in every contest between these two teams this season, the Tar Heels have played from behind, so they're not in an uncomfortable or an unknown position going into the third. How do they climb back from 3 down?
Well, I think that you have to trust that, you have been here before. You have the guys. You don't win 18 games in a season if you're UNC without having talent. And you have the guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. You've seen Lawrence 3 times this season, and you've put 4 up on him at least, in the first 2 times. You didn't score 4 in the game earlier, but that was Toyer's net to have. So you've been able to score goals against this team, against this particular goaltender as well, and you've succeeded in the crunch time situations. You have to know that you're built for it.
Well, we're going to find out how everything shakes out. NC State taking a 4-1 lead over North Carolina to the third.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Just about set to start the third and final period here at PNC Arena. NC State leading the Carolina Classic 4-1. Chris Slayman and Graham Tuck with you up here as we get set for the third period. NC State out there now, so we'll put the focus on them. Like we said, it's about not making big mistakes, but this team has been playing really, really well since coming back from the winter break, and they're setting themselves up, even though it might be a tough road through the ACCHL tournament, they're setting themselves up for a good run in the postseason.
Yeah, that they are. And at this point, I think that my math is right, but I'm pretty sure that they're locked into their opponent being Rowan University in the first round on this Friday. If I'm mistaken, somebody correct me, feel free. But I'm pretty sure that's the situation that they found themselves in with the overtime loss in the first game that we completed today, game 3 of the series. But they still have something to play for, even in this game. You think that they don't know that UNC has won 10 in a row? They obviously want to, just make life difficult. That's a feather in the cap for the Tar Heels. A 10-game winning streak is a big deal, but they're also playing for the 1 seed the Tar Heels on, and this rivalry is so fierce that you're always trying to take your opponent down a notch if you can, even if your postseason fate is pretty much determined.
The first 5 minutes, I think, are going to be the most important for North Carolina. If you don't put a goal up on the board and make it a 2-goal game within that stretch of time, things are going to start to tilt a little more. I would expect North Carolina to come out here and force things early. They're going to go with that top line of O'Shaughnessy centering Foster and Grady, as Herman will take the draw against O'Shaughnessy, who wins it for the Tar Heels. Gleason and Zajic, the top pairing on defense, out there as well for North Carolina. Here's Gleason. Slides it down the wall. Foster will send it all the way behind the goal. Labrizzi can't get to it. Grady trying to shove it down low for O'Shaughnessy, and it's intercepted. Now Thronson. Fanned on the pass intended for Arini. Zajic now in control. D-to-D with Gleason. His pass intercepted by Herman. Robinson will take it from the NC State centerman. Tried to float one to the middle. That was shut down and cleared out by the Heels. Now Labrizzi sends it all the way across. Herman trying to get there first under pressure from Foster and O'Shaughnessy. Patrick O'Shaughnessy down low for Foster, back out in front. Oh, just wide from Grady. He's got another chance in tight. Hack and whack time. O'Shaughnessy to it. Oh, a sprawling save made by Lawrence. What a play by the netminder, and the pressure still on for the Tar Heels. Shot from Gleason, blocked by Herman, and NC State alleviates the pressure. Robinson trying to attack immediately. He'll take Zajic with him behind the net. Left there for Arini. He gets tied up, and it'll be worked back around for Robinson, who shovels it down low. Here's Zajic again. Foster upended. He'll go to the bench now. As the Heels send it deep, that's Grady. Awkward bounce off the wall, pushed away by Lawrence. And NC State looking to break out, but it'll be knocked down again. Heels right back on the attack. Button hooking with it, O'Shaughnessy looking for the shot. Dragging, can't get it away, and now NC State's Lawrence will cover up the loose puck.
What a save Lawrence just made. That may be one of the better saves I've ever seen in club hockey. I think we're going to get another look at it, but that was unbelievable, especially with the shooter. You automatically assume that that's going in when it's Patty O'Shaughnessy with the puck, with that much net to shoot at, but Lawrence defying all the odds. That was unreal.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. He didn't stop a defenseman who had pinched in. Puck loose in front on an awkward bounce, and Shook can't get the shot away. Good pressure here from NC State's Brenner to knock it loose. Kaufman trying to get a stick to it and can't. And now North Carolina's Ben Edwards forks it all the way down. Cowan slap pass stopped up. Peltola sends it down low. Slid out in front by Gilligan. That pass denied by McConaughey, and they'll pin it in the near corner. Sent back up top for Glonick. He'll slide it all the way across to the far corner. Peltola and Cowan collide there. Now McConaughey just elevates it up and out. Shook waiting for it at the blue line, picks it up. Beautiful move around him, and he scores! Oh, what a move! Nick Shook just undressed Cam Glonick and put one through the legs of Lucas Brown.
That was nasty. That was one of the better goals that we've seen here tonight and this whole weekend. That was unbelievable from Shook. This is the guy that you know he can put the puck in the net. Shook had 22 goals this season. That's going to be his 23rd, and unbelievable stuff from the freshman. That might be a dagger.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about. North Carolina needed to come out. They needed to get on the board early. And now if you're NC State, you can't put it in cruise control quite yet, but you have to feel pretty comfortable getting that 4-goal advantage back.
Oh, yeah, and when it comes on a move as pretty as that one from Shook, I mean, I can hardly do that move in shell half the time, let alone doing it on the actual ice. That was beautiful.
Well, NC State right back to work on the offensive end. Shot from Strong ends up wide of the net. Ricochets all the way back for Alex James. Now Oliver centering pass, misses Daniel, and this will be a free clear for the Heels. Strong turning away from Cobber. Now he's got some space to skate it forward. Jack Strong picking up speed through the neutral zone. Gonna walk it right in. Shot blocked by Miglior. Loose in the far circle. Bressingham hacking away at it. Strong again. That shot blocked. And the Heels move it up and out again. NC State continuing with the pressure. They have not given Carolina many opportunities across the red line. Strong with another shot. Off the blocker of Brown and out of play.
And this game is really going to come down to how does UNC handle this pressure, because they've got to start playing more aggressive if this game is going to swing in their favor. They've got to jump up into the play. You have to be aggressive at this point. It's one period for the rest of the regular season. This is, unless they make a quick change here, this one is going to be a resounding win for the Iceberg.
Labrizzi under pressure from Mangle, turns away from it and gets tangled up with an official. But over to help is McEnany for NC State. He'll push it forward. Nice play there by Logan Todd. Chasing down the puck, he poked into the offensive zone, hacks it to the middle in the slot. McEnany! And it, not sure what it hit, but it deflects over to the far side, and the Heels get it out of danger.
And the Tar Heels fortunate there because Lucas Brown looked up and behind him. He thought that one had gone into the netting, when in reality it was about a foot in front of him. And fortunately, nobody on the ice pack able to get to it and poke it home, but Brown had no idea where that rebound went.
Todd trying to walk around his man Zajic. Loose puck comes to Herman. Throws it off the pads of Brown. Rebound in front. Nobody gets to it. They'll fight for it along the near wall. Knocked backwards for the Tar Heels. Gleason. They'll try and pitch one out into neutral ice. NC State takes it back, but Herman touched it with a hand, and it'll be a hand pass. So a face-off on top of the NC State blue line here. Herman and O'Shaughnessy squaring off again, and it's Zach Herman winning it backwards for the pack. Cowan sends it up and out, and upends a Tar Heel in the process as well. Nice little reverse hit there from the defenseman. And now NC State working in the offensive end. Breakout pass finds Henry Foster up the far wall. He'll hand it off for O'Shaughnessy. Back to Foster. Got caught up in his skates as McEnany disrupted things. And now NC State moving forward. Here's Arini. He's already got 3 this game. Walking in on Edwards, and he zips one over the shoulder of Brown and high of the net. Edwards along the wall. Able to break it into the NC State end, but the Ice Pack will take control. Here's Cade McConaughey. Forward for Herman to touch into the zone. That'll negate icing. NC State needs a change. Glonick looking to break it out. Great play, but the glove by Brenner to hold the zone, but the follow-up from Glonick pushes it into neutral ice. Now O'Shaughnessy off balance, and a nice hit from Shook to knock him down. Puck thrown in on Lawrence. He'll steer it to the near side. Brenner absorbs a hit and drops it off for Thronson. NC State looking to break out. Shook just inside of the red line. Slides it across for Kaufman. He'll break it into the offensive zone. Hounded from behind. Drops it off for Brenner, and an off-balance shot deflected up and over the net. Play carries on. It'll be the Tar Heels carrying it out. That's Peltola. One man against the NC State team. Can't get it deep. NC State will flip it back out. But you could tell, I think if you're NC State, they're trying not to take too many risks with a 4-goal lead. And so they're content to just kind of make North Carolina work for it here. Peltola down low for Gilligan as they set up the forecheck. Tar Heels had a chance in front. Lawrence able to jump on top of it out front, but that was a dangerous rebound that the Tar Heels couldn't find.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's just the way it's gone so far tonight for the Tar Heels. And this really has not been their night, and they're very fortunate that Florian Zajic was in the right spot at the right time in overtime of that Game 3 earlier tonight, because if not, if he doesn't make that play, we're potentially looking at this being a division championship game here, and NC State has been the far better team so far tonight. So that one goal scored in that overtime period earlier, just a huge difference maker in this season series and potentially the way the playoffs play out.
North Carolina going to work on the offensive end here. Emory Oliver slaps it over to the near wall, but not out. It'll be pushed right back in by Peltola. Labrisi sends it up the near side again. This one will trickle down into the North Carolina end for Miglio. 7 minutes gone in this third period. The only goal from Nick Shook made it 5-1 NC State. And now the Tar Heels looking for an answer, trying to inch back closer. Peltola down low. His centering pass sent right back behind. Doig backhands it up top, deflected in. Finally, the Tar Heels break through in the third. It's back to a 3-goal game. The goal scorer is Cobber.
Yeah, that's a huge play there. I was just getting ready to say, UNC's had a lot of zone time, but not too many shots on goal. They finally get bodies in front and just throwing pucks to the net. We talked about it in the first period. It was what was going to bring success for the Tar Heels. That point shot with traffic in front, that's honestly the only way that you think they're going to beat Lawrence at this point, because he has been so on top of his game, and all of a sudden this is a game again.
Well, 12:35 to go. Still work to be done for the Tar Heels, but we know they can strike quickly. Walsh sends it up the near wall on a breakout with Cobber. Lots of speed for the North Carolina centerman, but he can't take the puck with him, and NC State reverses it back the other direction. Here's a chance for Todd. Zips one over top, bounces back out in front, and a great hustle on the back check from Leighton Walsh. Went down to a knee to slide that one back behind. McEnany whips one out in front. Nobody there in a black jersey, and Kutseos breaks it out for North Carolina. They'll hand it off to Cobber. Shot deflected up and over the net by Cowan. Heels get to it first. Centering pass there from Gleason is intercepted. And now NC State sends it up and out. And this is going to be icing on the pack. Todd didn't gain the red line, trying to avoid a hit from Cobber, which he did unsuccessfully. So he took the hit and he iced the puck.
Yeah, and this is a huge shift here. You've got your top line out for UNC. If you can strike quickly and make this a 2-goal game again for the first time in what feels like forever. Oh boy, that is an interesting play there.
I think that's a good move from head coach Tim Healy, because like you're spot on there for North Carolina. You've got their top line out there against NC State's bottom line in McEnany, Harmon, and Todd, and they're tired. So you need to give them a rest here, because if they get that goal, you're right, it's a completely different game. It still feels like NC State has the control, but you can see North Carolina starting to pull back into it. And to take this break, to give your tired bodies a rest, I think is absolutely the right move.
Yeah, I think that's a great move there. And hardly ever do you see a timeout being taken this early in the third period by either team, regardless of the game situation. But one interesting thing is, I may be mistaken if what the rule is in the ACHA, but I know in the AAU, if you call your timeout at the end of an icing, if you ice the puck and then call your timeout, you're allowed to switch players, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're going to put Zach Herman, Garrett Arini, and Zach Robinson out there on the ice. You're allowed to make the change if you call the timeout, even though there's an icing. So that is a great move there from Coach Healy.
So that'll put Herman up against O'Shaughnessy now on the draw. Top line on top line as the Heels trying to get back into this game. Here's Foster off the draw. Tries to force a feed in front. That one's denied. Loose puck eventually corralled by Robinson. Touched along by Arini. And a lot of space now for Jack Strong to advance through neutral ice. He has it poked away by Glonick. Reversed back for Foster. Back and forth we go. O'Shaughnessy under pressure, button hooks at the top of the circle, whips one on goal. Rebound there for Herman to clear. He's unable to do so. And the Tar Heels back on the attack again. Glonick at the blue line, looking for a shooting lane. That was blocked by Arini. He's going to go racing after it. He's got Herman with him to help. Centering pass denied. Another chance, and a save made by Brown. Great effort there from the NC State captain to create that chance.
That is a huge save from Brown. I thought that one got past him. That's the second time we've seen a 2-on-1 between Arini and Herman result as an ill-minded shot from a Carolina defenseman gets easily blocked by a shin pad. Results numbers the other way. It was a goal the first time. Thronson made the mistake. This time it's Glonick, but Lucas Brown, a huge save to keep his team in it.
NC State will get to the puck in the far corner. Brenner's centering pass is deflected out of the zone, and it'll be advanced along by the Tar Heels. Chipped in, Gilligan going after the dump in from Duig, unable to get to it. NC State back in control. Kaufman moving through neutral ice. He's got Shook to push it into the zone. Now Brown sends it right back up the wall. Labrizzi pinches in to hold it. Down low for Shook. Turning on a dime, avoids the hit there from Peltola. Fires an off-angle shot that's fought off by Brown. Kaufman's side of the net now for the Pack. He'll look things over. Walking it back up to the blue line. Pestered there a little bit by Walsh. And now the Tar Heels take back over. Cleared out. Thronson trying to go down to cover it and can't. Gilligan with the loose puck. Fires away from the top of the near circle. Off the pad of Addison Lawrence and wide. NC State back on the attack now in transition. Shook walking right through the defense. Can't get back to the puck as Zajic bodies him up. And Brown will hold on for a face-off.
Yeah, that's a good play there from Gilligan on the rush chance for the Tar Heels. You really only have one spot to shoot there on Lawrence, and it's far side low. You're not really going to beat Lawrence to his glove side from that angle. And even though he may have made a pad save, it may have missed the net. But that's the right play there from Gilligan, and that was a good scoring chance that resulted from Ice Pack defenseman not being able to play a puck in the neutral zone.
Clearance from North Carolina's Zajic, sent right back in by Cowan. And NC State putting on a proper forecheck here. Bresingham with the shot off the turnover. Blockered away by Brown. NC State keeps it in as Daniel rings it around the wall. Pinching in Cowan. Upends his man. Play will carry on. No call up coming. Another clearance held in. This time it's Emery Oliver. Centering pass intended for Oliver again. Cleared out by Gleason. Cowan again sends it right back down. And this is what NC State's forecheck looks like when they can really get going. Bad touch there, though, from McConaughey. Shot from Kutseos, blocked down on the way in as Cowan got in front. Puck loose in the high slot area. Harmon corrals, centering pass deflected right back into his own end. Now McConaughey, one touched off the wall by Harmon. He's going to be dispossessed. O'Shaughnessy fighting through some pressure to carry it in. Now Gleason goes D-to-D, and there is a delayed penalty coming up on NC State as it'll be touched by McConaughey. I think it's going to be a hooking penalty. That's exactly what it'll be. The guilty party for the Ice Pack looks like Emery Oliver.
And this is exactly what Carolina needed to try to get back into this one. And Oliver not too happy about it, but a power play for the Tar Heels. You've scored the most recent goal. You've been able to mount some pressure. NC State trying to kind of park the bus a little bit in their own zone, and Carolina's been able to get some chances out of it. None better than right here, right now.
So the power play gets started with a face-off win. Foster will walk the blue line with it. Dropped off for Grady, high circle far side. Across for O'Shaughnessy. He'll whip one wide of the near post. Grady gets to it far side. Pushes it back behind for Cobber. His centering feed hit the skates of Thronson, and NC State unable to clear. O'Shaughnessy back for Foster at the top of the umbrella. Again for Grady. He'll slide it down low. Cobber with space. He could have gone to the net. Instead, he centers it off a stick. And O'Shaughnessy will chase it down on the near side. He'll step into the high slot. That shot blocked and cleared out by the NC State penalty kill with 1:20 left on the advantage. O'Shaughnessy receives the stretch pass now, trying to put a little bit of pressure on this NC State kill. As O'Shaughnessy has knocked off the puck, it'll be cleared all the way down by Thronson. Eight minutes left in the game, 1 minute on the penalty to Emery Oliver. 5-2 advantage for NC State. Both teams with a goal here in the third. But ever since that burst for the Pack back in the second, they've had a relatively comfortable lead the rest of the way. Another clearance there from the captain, Arini. And that'll bleed more clock as the Tar Heel leader picks it up. It's Henry Foster. Plenty of space. Crosses over to the near wing. Loses it in his skates, and now Jagielski looking to clear and can't. It'll be held up on the near wall where Gilligan can collect. He'll pick up speed walking across the blue line. Over to the far side, centering pass, loose in the slot. Kaufman comes away with it. He's going to slap it all the way down, and that should kill off most of the rest of this penalty.
Yeah, that was a great penalty from the Ice Pack. They've got to finish it off, obviously, get to the next whistle, but they have done a great job of having active sticks, getting everything to the outside, and as Oliver comes out of the box, they have done a fantastic job here to seal off the Tar Heels, keep them outside, and just kill off that penalty, keep the momentum in their favor.
Far corner, Mangle first to it. He'll take a hit from Kaufman and lose the puck. Nick Shook getting away from pressure to the near side, throws it back behind the goal. Edwards first to it, far corner again. His breakout pass is poked into neutral ice by Mangle, helped along by White. Mangle with it again, bodied up by Oliver. Shook to the loose puck. He's going to try and force it out of the zone. On the second effort, he does, but the Tar Heels have it once again. Vaglia, dispossessed, walking into the zone. Oliver comes away with it for the Pack. D to D, McConaughey to Cowan. Elevated pass out into neutral ice, swatted over to the near side. And White will ship it in one more time. Cowan has trouble clearing a bouncing puck. It'll roll around the wall to the far side. Bressingham pinned there with White. It'll pop loose. Oliver chips it back up the wall. Vaglia and Bressingham again battle for it. And the Tar Heels come away with it. Edwards thrown towards the net, deflected wide. And we pitchforked up the wall by McConaughey. But again, the Tar Heels doing a good job holding the boards and not allowing NC State to clear. This one gets out and past the defenseman Glonick. Here comes Daniel. Oh, he lost his footing. Just toe picked coming in over the blue line. And an NC State chance there will go by the wayside. But if you're the Pack there, wise decision here. You don't have the numbers. Send it back down the ice and kill some more time with a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, this one is coming down to the conclusion. And NC State has played a great game, and they played great in the first game, too. Oh, here's Arini.
Ooh, ripped one high. Long rebound comes all the way out to Thronson.
But at the same time, for Carolina, you won the game that mattered, and that was the first game. This one was kind of a cherry on top.
Arini looking to the middle, nobody there. I think he thought Herman would cut to the slot. Captain for NC State has had one heck of a game here tonight. Oh, soft rebound there from Lawrence. NC State able to clean it up and clear it out. Now Robinson breaking in. He's got a man coming back who will tie him up and throw him into the goal. That's going to be a penalty on North Carolina. Oh, and I think Thronson there just doing everything he could to make absolutely certain that NC State didn't get another one, but you also got to be careful. He ran him straight into his goaltender.
That might have been a penalty shot as well. We're going to get another look at it. That's a tough call.
Definitely could have been. It looks like they're going to call it a minor.
And one thing to note is that in the ACHA club hockey, you have the option, if a penalty shot is awarded, you have the option to decline it and take the power play instead. Now, that's not what happened this time, but if that was the call, you probably think that the Ice Pack would prefer the power play either way, because you're able to kill more time off of this clock that's already under 5 minutes left in the third. You've got a big advantage, and now you're probably going to be able to dominate possession time for the next 2 minutes.
But NC State already with a power play goal tonight. Kaufman to take the draw for NC State up against Foster, who wins it for the Tar Heels, but the clearance around the wall hits a stanchion and comes back out where the Ice Pack can set up. Centering pass, though, intercepted and cleared. Foster will hustle after it. He was great shorthanded last year for the Tar Heels, actually led the nation in ACHA D2 hockey in shorthanded goals. He's going to go to work here as North Carolina kind of needs a shorthanded one here to get back into it. And they've got great pressure on right now.
And that's why they've got Foster and O'Shaughnessy out there on this penalty kill. You've got to make something happen offensively.
Oh, you can see the hits coming to Foster went after Kaufman there, who looks to be a little bit shaken up, headed to the bench. NC State back in on the power play. Oliver worked around for Thronson. He's going to be dispossessed by Zajic, who can't clear. Held in by James at the blue line. He'll walk it over to the near side. Has plenty of time and space to look it over. Down low for Daniel. Carries it behind, spins it back around for Arini. Poke back up top for Alex James. He'll throw it through traffic. Bouncing puck missed wide, and Zajic will get to it and clear. 50 seconds left on the NC State power play. Under 3.5 to go in the game. So if you're NC State, it's looking like the second contest here going to go their way. And a good way to finish the regular season with a win over a high-quality opponent.
Yeah, and this is good momentum going into the conference playoffs, which will begin this Friday. And you know, UNC, they secured that top 2 seed and the division win, but they were on a 10-game winning streak, and you have that snapped against your fiercest rival in a game on as big a stage as this. That's going to stink, and it's going to be a fire lit under UNC going into that first-round game, I'd imagine. And they're going to have something to prove. This whole league, so tight, top to bottom, very little separation between the top teams and those that are, you know, even playing in the play-in game.
Well, here's a chance as Thronson comes out of the box. 2-on-1 for the Heels. Thronson with the shot, swallowed up and held by Lawrence with 2:31 to go.
And that is a great angle by Labrizzi on the back check. That's a 2-on-1. You know who you're up against. Thronson, a defenseman, he's not a great goal scorer. You take away the pass, you force him to take that shot. You know your goaltender, Lawrence, is hot. That's a very good display of awareness in your opposition by Labrizzi.
So face off to the glove side of Lawrence here. McEnany for NC State. Gilligan wins it for the Heels. But back at the blue line, Gleason has it poked away by Bressingham. He'll bring it in on a break and score. 2:22 to go. It's now 6-2 Ice Pack as Bressingham adds to the tally.
And that one is the dagger. Inability to keep the blue line has cost the Tar Heels twice now. And making no mistake, on the play, he reads the poke check from Lucas Brown, takes it to the forehand and buries it. That's a big goal from Bressingham, the senior playing at PNC Arena for likely the final time. And this has been a complete and utter domination by NC State in this one.
The Pack certainly the stronger team here at PNC tonight. As Oliver knocks Katseos off the puck. Another shot from the point. This one from Strong, swallowed up by Brown with 2:09 to go. But this has been the most lopsided game in a long time between these two teams. You might look back at that Frozen Finley game last year. NC State won, I believe the final count 7-4, but there were, I believe, 2 empty netters in there as well. It was a close game coming down to the wire, as all of these have been, up until this one. And some of it, I think, has to do with the fact that the Tar Heels had clinched the division with the overtime win, and NC State was still playing with some hunger. Chance in tight. Lawrence denies it with a low pad C.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think that UNC, you know, you get that goal from Zajic in overtime to clinch the division. You still had something to play for, but you had accomplished your goal by winning the division with that goal earlier, and you didn't have the same motivation to win this game that you did the earlier one, and that's totally fine. You're going into the playoffs on a strong note. You had 110 in a row, 19 wins this season, and you had a chance to make it 20 with this one. Not going to be able to pull this one out, but the Ice Pack, you're going into the playoffs with confidence. You just dominated a team that is going to be the number 2 seed going into the playoffs. That is a good sign for any team.
Yeah, and NC State certainly seems like they're playing their best hockey here later on in the season. That's exactly where you want to be. Could say the same about the Tar Heels, as we talked about. 10-game winning streak with the win earlier today. That's not going to make it to 11, but when you win 10 of your last 11 going into the postseason, not a bad thing either.
No, not at all.
Rainey first to it, left for Jagelski. His centering pass intercepted by Carson Rain, who will carry it out to the blue line. NC State takes it back. Arini drops it off for Labrizzi. He's under pressure, steps away nicely from White, and sends it up the wall for Arini. Knocked down by Glonick, but he'll leave it for Robinson. Crosses over, and Bressingham will pin it to the near corner. Well, it's mostly NC State faithful left here with the score where it is, and they're starting to cheer it out as we wind down the final 12 seconds. Pushing and shoving between Glonick and Robinson. They'll go down to the ice, and we're going to stop play as things get a little bit heated down there.
And nothing going to come from that other than a couple of penalties, but you got to be careful. I mean, the biggest games of the season are still yet to come, with the playoffs on the horizon at the end of this week, and you cannot risk a suspension, especially if you're players that are important to your team, like Glonick and Robinson, players that are as important as those two. you've got to keep your cool. I know this is a rivalry, and especially when you play a game and change in the same day against your fiercest rival in front of as many people as there were here tonight. Tempers are going to flare, but you got to keep your cool. We saw it from O'Shaughnessy earlier on. This is getting to be a bit excessive here.
Tar Heels will win the defensive zone draw. Gilligan just going to back it out and bleed out the rest of the clock. So after a tough overtime loss in game number 1, NC State bounces back with a 6-2 win here.
Yeah, a huge performance from Addison Lawrence as well. He has really taken this goaltender spot for the Ice Pack into his own. That is his 9th win of the season, and it has been a great sign for Lawrence to really step into a room where you thought the goaltender position was going to be just fine. You have Isaac Toyer and Eric Daniel. Those two have been solid for a long time for NC State. But now you have Lawrence entering the conversation of that goaltender room, and he has shown that he can do exactly what the Ice Pack need of him, and that is be a number 1 goaltender. A great display from him tonight and from the Ice Pack as a whole.
Yeah, you see the two teams shaking hands here at the end of this one. Another great regular season series that is fairly likely to continue into the postseason as the two teams will potentially battle it out in the ACCHL tournament and again potentially in regionals. Final count here at PNC, NC State 6, North Carolina 2. We'll be back with the postgame.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library, Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State. Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
We're back at PNC Arena, the Carolina Classic coming to a close. 6-2 win for NC State, and we've got the first star of the game down with our own Braden Winters. A hat trick and his 50th career goal for the captain of the Ice Pack, Garrett Arini. Braden, down to you.
Thank you, Chris. Here with Garrett Arini, scoring a hat trick in PNC Arena on the final game of the season. That is your 50th career goal. How does that feel, especially coming in PNC Arena against UNC?
Oh, it's awesome. Couldn't have done it to anyone better. No, I mean, I couldn't have done it without the help of my teammates. I mean, they set me up for all of those, so we played a hell of a game, and that's the biggest thing right there is the win.
How's that momentum going to feel going into the playoffs with a win against UNC, snapping their 10-game win streak?
It's huge. I mean, we needed that, especially after losing that OT year. Kind of sparked our fire, and we knew we weren't leaving here without one. So,
all right, great game, Garrett. Thank you. Back to you, Chris.
Layman, Graham Tuck with you, and Graham, this has been a good night really for both teams. I think when you look at it, if you're North Carolina, you don't like going into the postseason with a loss, but they do pick up the important win and win the division.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge win for North Carolina, especially in an overtime period where, let's face it, they got outplayed by NC State. And that carried over into the second game. But to get 2 points there, clinch the division, just absolutely massive for the Tar Heels. And it really earns yourself a chance to compete in that tournament, because having a higher seed is just so important in a league where it's so tight, top to bottom. 6 points separating the 1 seed from the 9 seed. So that is a huge, huge advantage for the Tar Heels going into the playoffs.
And if you look at it on the NC State side, obviously, Braden just talking with the captain, Garrett Arini, who had a great night, a milestone night for him. And this team, the Ice Pack, going to carry a lot of momentum into that first game in the postseason. Even though they don't win that overtime game, it really felt like they carried a lot of the play through both of the games over this kind of extended weekend. So they really are, as I've said, playing some of their best hockey.
Yeah, and you get 3 of a possible 4 points. That's huge for the Ice Pack, and you really boost your confidence, and the top guys are performing when they need to for the Ice Pack. Garrett Arini, the hat trick, like you mentioned. When you have your top guys rolling going into the playoffs, that is huge for your confidence, not only as a team, but as a coach. And you've got your momentum rolling forwards in the good direction for the Ice Pack and for the Tar Heels as well. Obviously, the loss is tough to swallow, but a 10-game winning streak, as we mentioned, that's still great for your confidence going into playoffs.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for us here at PNC tonight. Carolina Classic coming to a close as NC State wins the season finale 6-2 over the Tar Heels.